welcome to Stealy Jax Podcast, Episode 2. We have Runnin Partners, Matt and Dustin here, and we're about to hear one of their new songs that has not been released yet.
World premiere.
Gonna love it.
Got some people joining in already.
Right on.
Cool.
And that's why we couldn't play it live. Because horse rental is way more than we think. We weren't sure if the one's going to fit in here too well.
Yeah, I don't know if horses are allowed here anymore.
No? What
They
happened?
they used to have horses all throughout the streets. They have little posts around here.
Oh, where you can tie them up?
Yeah, for you to tie them up.
Nice.
But I don't know if that's allowed here anymore.
Is it like water troughs and shit, like the next street over? Like,
left over from when the Romans ruled.
That's funny.
Yeah, we got an aqueduct down the street too.
Yeah, I remember the train. I heard the train come by during the song.
You're not gonna hear it now.
And I was like, oh, it's hard to not sing along with the song. You know, I mean, like this is a different experience listening to it with people.
I'm sure that's how everybody felt. Yeah, the trains are down, huh?
Well, not this train.
I heard it just go by. Yeah,
Oh,
NJ Transit's down, right?
Okay.
Strike.
Yeah, not this one. They're going strong. They're run by Mussolini.
Okay.
Trains never stop. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Let's talk about the song a little bit.
Sure.
What was the recording process like there?
Just talk about how it started.
Yeah, I guess you got to, right?
This was during the album creation process. This was a song that came along like later, after we had already established most of the songs. This one came from started with the lyrics, like a lot of them do, and then a little resistance, and the drummer said, I can't really play anything to this, and then our other guitar player started, because some of the lyrics was about send for the horses.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, I'll hit like a little on the guitar thing. I'll do it. He's like, don't worry about the drummer. I'll do it. He's like, do. Hits it. I'm like, okay, yes, I love that. Keep doing it. Matt's already playing
gallop,
something.
you know?
Playing
Gallop.
something to it. The rest of the lyrics fell into place, and we liked it so much it made the first album.
Yeah, kind of off topic, like how the rest of the album is, but also kind of, you know, it's still a song that's going to be on it. It was during the process of creation, and it just didn't sound, it just sounded good, kind of stripped back, you know, with the chords. There's some different kind of chords in there that resonate, I feel like, differently, and other instruments kind of take away from it, that sound. But I think it came out great. It was one that we didn't know what was going to happen with it, but it got done the fastest. And we're recording it. The little ending part was actually, I don't know, was it the night we were about to finish it up? And he had these other lyrics.
Yeah,
You know?
one of Matt's favorite things to do is like when the song's done or we're putting like the final touches on the recording, he's like, what if this song had like one more verse? So I'm like, wrote that song a year ago. It's hard to get back into that space and write something that fits, but some of the best verses also come from that.
I know exactly what you mean.
So it's good, especially when somebody that's like not Matt asked for it. Like when the producer asked for a new verse, and I said, let me just try it. You know, and it worked out good. But I like the final product. I'm pretty happy with it. Sounds good.
Yeah, really happy with it.
So what would make it off topic from the rest of the album?
I just think the lyrical content, in my opinion, but
yeah, the subject material is a little different. The theme of the album is more reflective and more of the story of Matt and us and the friendship, growth, self-improvement, you know, taking a journey, setting a goal for yourself, stuff like that. And this is a song like other songs too that I'm still writing lyrics for the first album, but this one is more fantastical subject material than the like stuff based rooted in reality for like the most of the other songs on the album.
Yeah, I agree.
Getting
with that.
a little more fantasy, sci-fi like.
Yeah, definitely.
Any change in influence there? I would imagine maybe.
No,
I think some of it was placeholders too, right?
Was the the influence is the time going by during writing the album, the writing process, and the relationship. A lot of stuff is the byproduct of the stuff that's going on with us. If we're having a fight, if we're in an argument, if we'd have a disagreement, I'm writing about it every day. You know what I mean? I'm writing about how we should do it like this or that, and it comes through in the lyrics. Just like everything, just when I have a bad day, when I have a good day, they come out through the lyrics. But as times went going on, I've gotten better at categorizing them and keeping the on topic and keeping the songs together and forming them into songs that all fit together.
Which is really funny to see when he shows me the lyrics,
Yeah.
and then I gotta write music to it, and I'm
Yeah.
like talking shit on myself through the lyrics. Or not necessarily, but I could kind of, I kind of know what's going on, see what's going on. But I think also with that song, a lot of it, we just liked the way it flowed, and it was placeholders, and we were going to change the stuff with the horses, but it just kind of fell into place with the horses. And then I was messing around, I downloaded a bunch of different horse sounds, just kind of plugged them in, and everything just seemed to work, and I was like, I'm gonna roll with it.
Yeah.
And then by that time it was too deep to change it anymore.
Yeah, and it was a different type of thing of like, what other song have you heard horses in?
There's actually it's funny that you say that
Yeah.
because it
And this is
reminds
exactly
me
what I'm
of
looking for.
like old school DJs in like the 90s. There was like a horse I don't know, like a whinnying or whatever
Okay.
sample that was pretty popular. That was pretty circulated. I know probably one of the most recent examples of that is the Avalanches used it in their album Since I Left You, and let's see what's it called,
Did
front
you get Jamie
the song yes my Jamie would be pulling this up right now. The song Frontier Psychiatrist, I believe, features a horse like that, but it's
Nice.
it's like used as kind of like not necessarily like you guys used it as sort of a to put you in like Santa Fe
Vibe
or something, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
They use it more to make you just feel like there's crazy shit going on. like you're at a party or something, and you look over and there's just a horse over here, just like what the
Yeah, definitely. That's a huge intention with the lyric writing. I'm especially. I don't just write lyrics. I was also writing books and stuff. Is how I started as a writer.
Nice.
So I'm always thinking about intention. I'm always thinking about how am I making somebody feel with these lyrics. And with songwriting, it's so much different from writing a novel or short story because I want somebody to feel that right away. I'm not setting up for something for an hour from now for somebody to pay off pages away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got to pay it off quick.
Yeah, I know
and I gotta be
exactly
on
what you
target.
mean.
And a lot more, I have to speak in a lot more mystery and intrigue. And then
Mhm.
also the other thing, I'm usually writing a lot of jokes because I'm trying to make Matt or other people I'm showing the lyrics to laugh. I want to, and a lot of these jokes have made the songs.
Yeah.
I snuck my phone into jail, a bunch of different jokes, small jokes, things to make laugh. Hey, I don't want to say that maybe, but then hey, now it's part of the song.
Normally I'm like, no, I'm not. I can't say that, dude. And then I'm like, it feels so good though. It always calms.
No, you gotta.
And you got to.
I think those end up being the best lyrics.
It was good, but when we did the one open mic, I said a couple lyrics and I was like looking around at you. You could tell it just didn't land.
It doesn't.
But it doesn't
honestly,
matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like lyrics, and especially like when you've sung something so many times. Like there's a few lyrics in some of my songs that I've written, and I write them to kind of like sting a little bit,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
I sing them so many times that it doesn't. I forget
Yeah.
what the meaning even is because it's just like going through the motions for me, and then sometimes I'll say a line and I'll see someone like laugh a little bit or like react to it, and I'll be like, oh right, because it's kind of like a snarky line.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like most of the time people don't really listen to lyrics unless it's like a song where the lyrics kind of are like being the story is really being like screamed at you in a way, like
Really good hook.
yeah, or something
Verse.
like that. Something being repeated a lot of times, or something like "The Devil Went Down to Georgia," or like one of Eminem's like storytelling type songs.
Mm.
I feel like unless you're singing a song like that, it's really hard to get people to truly understand what the song is about. Even
Yeah. I love even at the open mics and something when somebody says something about they say, oh, that lyric, oh, that thing you said in that song, or somebody notices it, it's like it's a real visceral reaction for me because I love that. It's like cool. It's like, hey, somebody's listening.
Yeah.
That thing spoke to them. It's almost like, hey, I told you so, dude. That thing that we had to show you this about or explain that weird ass thing no one's ever heard of was but sometimes it resonates with somebody, and that's why people love certain bands or music.
And a lot of times it's hard for me to do that lyric justice. I want to who works hard on the lyrics, and I'm trying to bring them to life and color or whatever, or make it work. It always seems to work. But I think sometimes with those ones, I'm always trying to just make everything fit into that little box of that, and it's just like, man, he just throws me for a loop, and I'm like, how am I gonna do it this time, right?
So is that how you guys operate? Kind of. Dustin does the lyrics and Matt does the music.
Yeah, definitely.
For the most part.
Yeah, like 99%.
Yeah.
I'll give my musical opinion, but it often doesn't align with Matt's. Sometimes, you know what I mean? I'm going to tell him, I think about this or this, that, or hey, when the lyrics say this, the music should do this, but Matt does 100% of the music. You know what I mean? I'm just give my opinion sometimes, but yeah, writing the lyrics gives me I'm extremely satisfied with the contribution because some of the stuff that hasn't worked has been a great lesson of what can't work. What there's a ton of words you can't sing. At least you can't sing them how we were singing them.
Yeah.
There's words that don't work. The syllables, they mush your mouth, they don't come out the right way, or you have to sing it a completely different way we don't know yet. And that's been great. And it's in also getting my notes set up where I'm setting him up for success, where it's easy. It's boom, this rhymes with this, rhymes with this. Yeah. And the rhyme style is unmistakable, and he can't make any mistake, and everything's spelled right, and boom. That makes the song. That's how we get 3 songs done in a night sometimes. But, and also, the reason why we didn't early, we weren't cranking them out that fast.
Yeah.
Well, the other reason was I was very unfamiliar with computers in general, not just the programming, but I'm getting better with Logic, and got a lot of help along the way, talking to different people and just really learning. But really, I had to learn the computer. I can't believe how I just didn't have a computer for so long. I had a phone.
Really?
I do construction. What do I need a computer for, right? So I never had one. I got one, and it was like learning a new tool. And once I learned that tool, then it was like, okay, now we're cooking with a little bit of fire. Now we got it going on. And that song in particular, prior, I was trying to get everything perfect, everything. And this song, I just, boom, everything was just hit. And that was really the impetus, I think, for the next songs. We got some right now being mixed and mastered, and the album will hopefully be out end of summer, fall, if not sooner.
Cool. Awesome.
Really excited about it. Really cool. Everything's coming together, I feel. And so we do it justice,
Yeah, I feel like it tells a complete story, which is one of the goals early when we started. I didn't know what the subject material would be, what the topic for the album would be, but then it just came naturally, and now it's it'll be revealed on the album. But a lot of the songs are up on YouTube. You can probably piece together a lot of things already. They're pretty it's pretty self-explanatory, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the themes of the album, yeah, definitely. But we'll see. We'll see how it's received.
I guess that'll be a mystery for now.
Yeah, no, I can explain it too. Yeah.
We can come back to that. Let's get into some questions. So I have to get at least one question like this in here. If you could run to any place or run in any place, what would it be?
I'd probably take the Hunter exam. Hunter.
Hunter exam.
Yeah, I'd be running with that.
That starts with the running.
Just
right?
running, yeah.
Okay. He's talking about the show. Hunter.
The anime.
Yeah, I would run with them.
To get your hunter's license, it starts with a run until enough people quit, or
they just running. Yeah,
they just keep going until
run,
people drop.
I definitely Matt and I have done a couple long hikes before and stuff like that. I would love to do a really long distance thing, like a marathon or something like that, with like a a several day walk, an Appalachian Trail, something like that, with like a gigantic, immeasurable goal. I would love to run something like that.
Yeah, my brother was talking about doing some kind of like Grand Canyon run with
Grand
his
Canyon's
coworker.
amazing.
Yeah, is that where the name came from?
No, the name Runnin Partners came from a documentary called Dope Sick Love about people on dope in New York City and like the homeless.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
It's pretty cool. Check it out. But they were explaining. It comes from a couple of different things, but they're in the movie. There's the line, somebody's speaking about someone they lost. They say, we were everything. We did everything together. We were running partners. And I go, boom. That's the name. So 2016, I saw the movie. I make the Instagram instantly. But Runnin Partners also it's a couple different things. We often have to run from police for skateboarding in downtown Philadelphia.
Love
City
Park,
Hall. City Hall.
constantly.
One of the first things, one of the shorts that's unreleased is Matt on the bus ride to Philly. We used to leave school early, or as soon as we could get out, take our boys to school, get on the bus, go to Philly, and Matt would be telling me on the way about like, hey, we're about to get there, and we're gonna be doing illegal things. Like as soon as we get off the bus.
How old?
Junior high it started, maybe.
7th, 8th grade.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
saving
grade.
our lunch money.
He said the cops have mini bikes that can go up
They were
and
dirt
up
bikes.
and
they
downstairs.
Wait, so they would really chase you like that in
Yeah.
Philly?
Yeah, so
Bad.
it would be everybody skating, everybody's still populated, crazy, everybody around, and then somebody would just go, scatter! We're 5-0! Something like that. And then you'd be like, everybody's running already, so you gotta run too.
Into traffic, in that circle,
So Matt says, look, you gotta cross the street. They're gonna catch you. If you don't run it, you gotta cross the street. Whatever you do, don't look back. Because as soon as you look back, that's when they get you. So you got to just cross the street because they're not going to run into the street. So you got to run into the street. And I'm sitting there like, what? Because he had been a couple of times and it was my first time. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. He's got his bag of change. It's spilling all everywhere.
I used to pay quarters to get on the bus. Dude, I had like $10 worth of quarters I took from my parents. A little change sack or something.
So Never Look Back, the name of the album.
It's an ode to skateboarding.
Runnin Partners.
Growing up skating.
Running from cops, skating, running, doing bad things. Because that's the stuff that makes you feel alive, especially when you're young. Also, the other third hidden meaning, the running partner that never leaves your side, is your shadow. A couple of the songs are about. There's been gaps in our relationship. We've been friends forever, but not every day consistently.
Yeah,
I
know what you mean.
He's got a new girlfriend. He's got a new band. He's got a new best friend. Anything, stuff happens. When will it happen again? I don't know. He might move away. He lives 10 minutes away. He might live 40 minutes soon. So it's like, hey, I'm setting this up. My dream is to set all this up. So hey, if Matt wants to just do it alone one day, he can do that, no problem. It's easy. Everything's already going. The Instagram's great, established, has a great history. The YouTube, everything's set up. Matt just set up DistroKid, all that stuff. He got all that done.
What
So
a
now
nightmare that is.
it's all set up. So if
DistroKid.
it was ever just running partners, Matt just wanted to do it alone, and I lose interest one day, it could be that too. So it's also
based on what I'm hearing so far, I don't think you're gonna lose interest. Doesn't seem like it.
And I remember him telling me and saying, "I'll never quit."
I'll never quit.
And he's too stubborn to quit.
Yeah, I'll never quit because when I said that, I wanted Matt to know, like, hey, you don't have to worry about me, like, hey, I quit. This isn't like a huge time investment. I never stopped writing my other projects. You know what I mean? This is just an extra thing that when we meet for band practice, I can do this extra. And then the extra stuff, the videos we make, this stuff, that's just a byproduct of me having a good time.
Yeah.
Stuff like this. Hey, I'm doing this podcast because I know Steely and Matt are cool dudes, and I can have a conversation with them like that, no problem. So it's it's easy. That's just a byproduct of having a good time.
That reminds me of there was all right. I just remembered it's not Jake's quote directly. It's from his brother. He said.
Nice.
Because he said his brother was writing a book, and this quote was like a big part of the book. But yeah, he told me that it was. He said if you really love something, you have to be able to fail at it for your entire life and be okay with that. And I every time I think about it, I feel kind of differently about it, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely stuck with me.
Yeah.
That idea.
I like to say I'm too stupid to quit.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I mean,
kinda
that
didn't mean to quit.
it does
Like,
help sometimes. It does.
Yeah, and you get there. It's worth it. Like,
There's a lot to be learned from doing something for a really long time.
And sometimes like you saying being too stupid to quit, like sometimes I think if I actually knew how much work needed to be put in, and I still think about
quit
that
a long time
like
ago.
if I actually was able to comprehend the amount of work that needs to be put in, I probably would be a lot more hesitant about
Absolutely.
doing it.
So a lot
But
of people don't do it.
it's just the fact that I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just gonna give 100% every day and see what happens.
yeah, what's the other option?
Yeah, and
I'm in too deep
yeah,
now.
and sometimes you ever like in your head kind of just like quit a little bit, like for a day or for like a
Get
week,
discouraged.
and then but in your head you're just like, I quit. I'm gonna find something else to do, and then you just like forget because that's
you're
just
writing a
what you want to
yeah.
do, and that's that. It's also kind of just like what you know how to do, and so you just keep doing it
I don't know
it's just
why.
it's just like, I don't know. That's just like who I am. Like if I wanted to do something else, I don't think I would be able to.
I suffer from imposter syndrome. Imposter
Yeah.
syndrome pretty badly. And that's one of the things I think about a lot, though. Like, I should just quit. I don't deserve it. What am I doing? I've only been playing, blah, blah, blah. But, again, I'm too stupid to quit, But,
Yeah, but you don't. I feel like imposter syndrome prevents people from making art. You make the art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's not the best at sharing everything, but this is the thing I like about this. My book's gonna be out fucking never. I never have to show it to anyone. There's no hard deadline. These songs are coming out. You know what I mean? I have to have this stuff ready. So it's a different kind of work cycle than I have established for myself, but it's definitely beneficial, and I definitely enjoy it.
yeah. Got to meet a lot of great people through it. Fun, learned so much, really. I love learning. Just meeting people and going playing there and seeing how they got this set up, and they taught me so much how to mic up my room and learn this, and it's so cool. The little, relationships you build as well, which is just as good as doing the music. But for me, I think music was always there for me. I was always in sports. We talked about jiu-jitsu and stuff prior.
Yeah.
But anytime I got injured or skateboarding or I got injured, and I'm like, I gotta do something, right? Like I could pick up a guitar, even if I have a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah.
Or I got a torn ACL or whatever it may be. I could pick up whatever. And
There's always
gonna
be something.
Right, something there to kind of
Even,
distract me.
I don't know, you got one hand, like, I don't know, get like a piano.
Yeah.
You can do something on a piano, I guess.
Yeah, I'm starting to get arthritis now. I'm already thinking about I gotta pick up a piano, right? 'Cause it's hard to
I don't know
squeeze
if
the
the
acoustic
piano would
guitar.
give you arthritis or
Yeah,
prevent it.
right.
Carpal tunnel, maybe.
Carpal tunnel, right.
The rest of it happened at
Oh,
work.
jeez,
Yeah.
my elbows.
So, so I've been hearing a lot about like the experiences and everything that influence the music, which I feel like is kind of maybe a little different from what people usually say. Like, I was about to ask, what kind of music influences you guys, and if that has changed at all throughout album cycles. And I feel like that's kind of the question that you never have to ask, because people are always trying to tell you about like what they've been listening to lately. And it's kind of it's very interesting that you guys talk more about the experiences and especially like between you and everything. So is there any kind of music that maybe mainly influences you, or has that changed throughout album cycles maybe?
Yeah, definitely. My early music background. Grew up really into punk, and then pop punk happened. Then you couldn't escape it. Emo hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Couldn't escape it.
Still recovering.
Surf rock and
Surf rock, nice.
Summer singer-songwriter acoustic stuff was my thing. Stuff I loved. Yeah, I like rock. I like a little bit of everything. Classical,
Underground hip hop. I'm gonna agree with everything.
Hip hop, big from skating and everything. Being in the city, you can't escape hip hop. Amazing. Don't really mess with country, but pretty much that. The bands Matt was in, he was doing rock type stuff.
Screamo
nuanced,
stuff,
all kinds of different stuff, but just generally, but yeah, I love it all. But that was mainly the beginning influence.
It's funny. I was watching your last podcast, and you guys, and I didn't think you would mention this guy, this artist, and when he did, I was so excited. Juice WRLD. That dude.
Oh, Jake must have mentioned him.
Left an impression on me, man.
Really?
I got into him, and I was listening. I said he taught me how to sing. He taught me how to stay on rhythm, just singing his songs lyrically, and just all his interviews too, man. He just tells you, like, that was the thing too. I was always so flustered. I gotta get this done. I gotta do this. I'm watching interviews of this most amazing, talented dude I've ever seen, and he's saying, just take it one night at a time, one step at a time, and I don't forget that ever. You know, just a little bit at a time. If I can get on my computer, sometimes, you know, with the kids and at work, my side job is pretty demanding. You know, I'm there 8 hours. We're there early and we're there late. But when I get home, I hang out with the kids, and then I'll try to get at least a little recording done 8:30, 9 o'clock. But by 10, I'm falling asleep at the laptop. You know? So that was frustrating to me for a while, you know. And now I'm like, it just makes it all the more better that I actually got to sit down. Even if I do fix the vocals that night, I fix one line, I got this track, I feel good. It's becoming therapeutic.
Yeah, definitely.
So Juice WRLD is definitely Mac Miller. I think you guys spoke to him a little bit. For me.
Yeah. I remember I was watching an interview. I remember we were talking about Danny Brown, right? You guys said you like Danny Brown?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was watching an interview with him, and he was talking about doing his album, a more recent album, You Know What I'm Saying? And he did that album with Q-Tip from Tribe Called Quest, and he was talking about, like, you know, usually I just make a song, and once it's done, I just drop it, I just put it out there.
Yeah.
And he was like, when I was working with Q-Tip, he would be adding in, like, all these little things after we were done, and I would be like, you know, why don't you just drop it? And he would be like, we have all the time in the world to finish this song. There's no point in just rushing anything.
Right.
And I'm sure that would be great to hear for you know, someone who needs to hear it.
Yeah.
For me personally, that is not what I need to hear, because that's the mindset that I'm in all the time, and that's why so many of my songs don't get finished.
Is that just an excuse not to put it out? Like,
I mean,
it's not perfect.
And any
Bro, your album has 17 songs on it, though.
but they're all short.
49-minute song or something like that? The whole album? Something like that? What is it?
Any mix engineer will always tell you that the song is never finished.
Right.
It's, you know, it's
That's
just...
real quick, Leonard.
I mean, yeah, you guys, I'm sure, know plenty about that when you were doing your songs.
Yeah, our other guitar player used to say this Leonardo da Vinci quote all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Art is never finished, only abandoned.
Yeah, exactly.
And I fundamentally agree with that.
Every mix engineer
I disagree
lives
with
by
that.
that.
Disagree, right?
Yeah, I disagree with that. Because you decide. You know what I mean? You put the end on it. It's up to you to finish that thing.
To abandon it.
Yeah.
It's up to you when to.
But I think
do
it's
that.
an amazing feeling when you do finish it. And I have a huge thing. I have several things that are abandoned. But when I finish something, I know it's done, and I'm not going to go back and make any changes.
No,
and that's a great.
yeah.
That's the thing I'm looking for. That's the feeling I'm thriving for.
That's one of the funnest things about this little journey. I didn't have any idea about the artistic side. I was more like a competitive, like, you got to be the best at this, you know. Cause skateboarding was kind of like, you know, kind of competitive, and jiu-jitsu competitive, you know, kind of to an extent. And opening up and seeing the artistic side, which he opened up to me, completely lost somewhere growing up, and realizing like you don't have to be perfect. It's art, you know. I never seen music like that before, up until the last, I don't know, 3-4 years, which was neat. So I think that's why this kind of works so well too, you know, because I put in the work musically to get better and blah blah, and he's put in the work artistically, which is great too, because it doubles. He's always telling me, do this, do that, try this, that, and it's great because I can hand that down to my kids and show them different things, just different way of thinking.
I'm a big fan of, you know, conventional fine art, everything, all experimental art, avant-garde, everything, and it has done nothing but expose me to more, increase my taste, you know, make me a better artist. And then when I see someone that's not really exposed to a ton of art, I can tell. Because I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? Even somebody that's not seen a lot of movies. You know what I mean? If I hit you with a movie quote and you're like, what do you mean by that? You know, it's like from the most famous movie. So being exposed to a lot of things, I feel like is the key that Matt was missing. Because he wasn't, you know, how are you going to find great art if nobody's telling you, nobody's gushing about it all the time? You know what I mean? So it was more once we kind of talked about that, I was like, I would explain my process of art projects I was working on. You know, I'm making one of my buddies a big, giant project, a painting for his barn, a barn star. I'm telling, you know, and Matt expressed the interest. You tell me all the steps, tell me everything you're doing. Or before it's like, I would never explain it to somebody unless they asked. But doing that made Matt has increased his art. Is, you know, he can frame a photograph so much better now. He's painting, tagging, all the different everything, video production, editing, working on, you know, using a computer. Matt is from when I came in, from when Brad called me on the phone and said, hey, you want to be in this band, dude? From then to where I said, dude, of course, Matt's my lifelong friend. I knew, okay, I'm already been writing. I know I can write anything. And I know I can add so much to Matt. I can make Matt such a better artist, and he's grown so much. Even his, you know, poetic vision, his taste has grown so much. But that's the other thing. Also, you can influence taste, but I feel like taste is something the thing you have or you don't. That's just an opinion I hold. But
I would just say, you know, everyone's got different tastes, I guess.
Definitely.
Have you ever met someone who just like doesn't listen to music, doesn't like watch movies, doesn't
all the time.
And like me personally, my initial reaction to that is like disgust, but then I'm just like, I don't know, can I really be mad at them for just being the way that they are? All I can say is that I don't really tend to get along with people like that. Not like get along, but it's just that I wouldn't really choose to like be friends with somebody like that.
I love when somebody can be vulnerable enough to share something that they have deep passion for. Whether it's their art projects, the movie they just saw, anything like that. I feel like if you can do that, then we can be friends.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, that's really what it is.
Or at least if you can listen to me do that.
Like just if you know, exactly. If you have to have like, you know, some kind of like passion or at least some kind of curiosity. Yeah. Like I know a few people who don't necessarily have a huge passion about a lot of things, but they at least have the curiosity about a lot of things in general.
Right.
And that's, you know, that's all I can really ask for, is just wanting to question something and learn about it. Right? Yeah.
Because we both learn. Like, you ask a question, that opens up so much, right?
I feel like more questions. A lot of people don't really discuss their dreams too. Like, hey, what's your deepest passion? I always try to ask people really good questions. You know what I mean? Like, hey, what was the movie that changed your life? Or what was the album that you heard that you never stopped thinking about? You know, stuff like that. It's like, you gotta ask really good questions.
Which is funny because when we first started writing, I didn't know much. I loved Dashboard growing up. I played Screamo, so lyrically I was always writing about girls or whatever, past
The thing he was thinking about.
Well,
Girls.
no, not even that. It's just I didn't know what else to write about.
I mean, there's
because
nothing wrong with that.
Every single song in the world is about girls to me. Like, so I didn't know what else to write about. And he was like, he hit me with this question, and it changed everything. He said, "How do you feel when you sing about girls all the time?"
I remember you saying that before.
You know what I mean? He's like, "Do you feel cool?" And I was like, "You know, motherfucker, no, I don't feel any coolness at all in this." So then I was like, and then I think that's where when you start writing the lyrics about us skating and running from the police, like that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Doing stuff. The song that's being mastered right now, I won't give away too much, but it's about pretty much that. Driving around my first car, you know.
City Limits?
City Limits, yeah. Rolling doobies in the front seat, doing stupid stuff that we thought we could get away with. Like, thank goodness we never got busted too bad. There's been times on the train. This is one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
But
It's good to have songs about specific things too.
Absolutely.
And not just always kind of the general like you know, it's not that writing songs about girls is necessarily bad,
Yeah.
but and it's good to have an identity like that too. It's good to kind of, you know, have people know like, oh, I know this band, they like to write songs about girls, so when I want to hear a song about girls, then I'll listen to this band.
boys like girls.
But yeah, exactly. But you know, it's also good to have a good amount of variety and to also be relatable, I think.
Yeah.
Like specific things like that, a lot of people are probably going to hear it and immediately, like, you know, when you guys are talking about this stuff, I'm personally just thinking about a lot of stuff in my own life because it's just
Yeah.
it's just relatable stuff.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
universal topic.
Yeah.
On there,
Yeah, for a lot of people, at least like, you know, in America or, you know, at least in the types of cultures that I know about, you know.
Right. Which was neat when you and Jake were talking about like growing up in the burbs and that. All
Yeah, like
that.
stuff like that. Like I'm sure, you know, people in maybe someone in China, like the average person in China has no clue what it's like
Yeah.
to grow
Yeah.
up in the suburbs. I don't even know if they have suburbs in some countries, but it's like, you know, I know that pretty much throughout all of America, probably maybe in some of Europe. Do they have suburbs in Europe? I don't know.
Yeah.
But wherever they have suburbs, like they're going to be able to relate to Jake's songs.
And I feel like the more things you make the song about, is I always try to at least make the song about two things that are like dead obvious. Like you can't deny that song's about horses a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least where it's got, you know what I mean? It's like, is a song about horses and ghosts? It's like, you know, it's like, it's got to be at least about a couple of things so people have more to draw from.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like a plot and a subplot in like a TV show.
You make
Like
your
they
own
always
perception.
they always have like what the main characters are doing, and then like the side characters got their own
Yeah.
little thing going on.
The B story.
You're just like, wait, that's this episode? Wait, this is the episode where Marsha gets hit in the face with the football? They're also doing this?
That comes to mind. Fresh Prince was good at that. Fresh Prince always had some
Yeah.
stuff going on, you know.
Yeah.
Uncle Phil was doing something. Will was always up to something. Lisa was shopping. You know, Carlton was debating, playing chess, doing dances, getting.
Matt grew up on the Fresh Prince a lot. Like that was his show. Like
That was my comfort show.
I watched a good amount of it. I remember, but the reason I think that I even watched Fresh Prince was because Full House was, I think Full House came on after something, and that's why I even knew all these shows. Like so it was probably like SpongeBob was what I wanted to watch. And then after, you know, they got done with SpongeBob at night, Full House came on, and then I probably started liking that show. But I remember the Fresh Prince came on after Full House, and I would watch that one sometimes. And you know, my subconscious was right with this one, but I never liked the Cosby Show. I always got a bad vibe. I always got bad vibes from Bill Cosby personally.
the Cosby
But-
Show.
I didn't watch that.
But
one
yeah, Fresh Prince
Oh, I
and
did.
Full House were my
Yeah.
two favorite
Full House was good.
Nick at Night
Uncle
shows.
Jesse is the musician.
Yeah,
Right? He was
yeah.
My
I
kids
thought-
watch Full House now, like, and they love it.
The new
Yeah.
one or the
No,
old
the old one. And
Good,
it
good,
still
yeah.
holds up. Cut it out, the whole thing.
Cut it out.
So good. Still holds up.
I feel like I might not be able to watch it back nowadays, like stuff like that, and
I know you're saying that.
like the
It just don't hit
the
the
Olsen
same.
twins catchphrase. How rude! Like, man, I don't think
My
I would
kids are
be
eating
able
it
to.
up. They
I
love
don't
that
think
show.
I would be able.
Yeah.
I
Just
don't
wait.
think I would be laughing at that.
We got to watch Rocket Power the other day.
Yeah,
Oh my
dude.
gosh,
I
dude.
think that would hold up.
He loved
think-
it. Oh, he
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
so
this is
good.
great.
I think I would be able to watch some Rocket Power, especially
Throw it
I
on right
remember
now.
there was an episode of Rocket Power. It was like the season finale or something when they went to Tony Hawk's house. You remember that? That was the shit.
We are riders on a mission.
And I remember
Dude, you called somebody squid for like 15
Yeah.
years.
Nice.
My neighbor that didn't listen to no music we were talking about.
Yeah, I still call him squid.
Damn, that,
Squid. Well,
dude,
then
that's a
there's
total
another
squid right
New
there.
guy, yeah.
That's a perfect name.
Yeah, it's Squidward.
Perfect name.
It stuck so hard.
It's Squid.
So you were talking about like people's asking people what is, you know, something, a piece of art that you're always thinking about, that you hold in a really high regard. Do you have any like I was gonna the question that I wrote down was a 10 out of 10 album, but maybe, I don't know, some just something that maybe you're always thinking about, that you always go back to when you're writing lyrics or music or whatever.
Oh, there's so much. One of the things I do when I write is I put on music or a radio station on really low so I can't hear it, but it's just background noise of something happening.
Yeah.
So I love doing that, but like while I'm writing, no, I don't really watch much besides that. I feel like the biggest thing that has an impact on my actual writing is time travel shows,
Interesting.
which is weird because it puts me in such a different space of like you have no frame of reference for this happening to anyone you've ever heard of. For a lot of my like book stuff, Westworld, the new Westworld remake, the TV show was a huge influence on some of my writing. I love the way that was shot, and the soundtrack to it was amazing. They had some amazing covers in that. A lot of painters influenced me in a big way. As far as albums, I can't really think. The Sublime acoustic album,
Or even like a song, maybe something like
Yeah,
that.
Pool,
We used
Pool
to
Shark.
play. We used
Or just an artist.
Yeah, you know Pool Shark off of the Sublime acoustic album.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it had
I
a
don't
huge
think I know that one.
Huge
Yeah.
influence on me. I
Oh,
still
wow,
listen to
good.
it nonstop. It's a dark subject material. It's about like shooting up and stuff like that, but
There's
it's
a lot
really
of their
real. I mean,
songs
yeah.
Pretty dark.
We used to listen to bass
Dark,
a lot.
like,
Bass side acoustic. That whole
Sublime-
album's pretty good.
Sublime was great at writing, like, you know, fast, happy sounding,
Yeah.
like ska songs, and then, you know, it's about like date rape or riots or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah,
that.
so that was a big influence on me. Especially how their album sounded. Like the Police Scanner, obviously, and that stuff was great. but-
Speaking of that,
yeah.
you have sirens in one of your songs, right?
Yeah, I always
thought I
try
was
to
being pulled
avoid that.
over yesterday, dude. Twice.
I'm
I'm at
sorry.
the- I'm
I
like-
apologize.
I don't
I
like when
said
people do that.
I said that I would never do it.
I turned it
That
down
used to get
and I
me.
looked around. I'm like, all right, there's nothing there. And I put it back on. I'm like, yeah.
Son of
And
a
I hear it
bitch.
again, but it's so subtle. I'm like, what's going on? Is it the song? I did it 2 days in a row.
But you know what else? The Census Fail acoustic album and Bayside acoustic.
Yeah. That was on repeat. Montauk, I think it might. At least
Montauk
one of the
is one of the
songs
songs,
is
yeah.
Montauk. Wonder Years was awesome.
Wonder Years,
We're talking albums now. I
Huge
don't know if we're
influence.
still talking
Yeah,
about.
it's some of their songs.
Yeah.
Ton of acoustic stuff, but yeah, those are my albums, stuff like that.
Nice.
And then obviously I'm hugely influenced by painters, chefs. I'm really into food too. I do a lot of cooking and stuff
Yeah.
like
Nice.
that. So even that stuff
My man,
influences
your cook
me.
right here.
influences like your lyric writing?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I sing a lot about food.
I cannot tell you how
I sing
many
a whole lot
different
about
food
food.
lines and food jokes,
That's cool.
songs about gravy,
Seasoning with flavor.
You guys-
seasoning with flavor,
You
salt
guys
with
listen to
confidence.
MF Doom, right?
Yeah.
Not me as much.
We have a lyric in one of our songs that mentions Daniel Dumoulin.
Yeah.
Somebody at the open mic actually mentioned they were like appreciated that. They're like,
Yeah, I
oh,
mean,
Daniel Dumoulin.
He's got a whole album about food.
Food.
Like
Great
I
album.
remember the first time I heard that album, I
Yeah.
was like, all right, I'm gonna figure out what like the double entendre is, and there's plenty of like song by song double entendres,
yeah.
but I was like, I'm gonna find out what the meaning of this album is, and it's not just food. It's like it's got to be a reference to like drugs or something. Like,
He's a master.
dude just liked food. He just really liked to eat.
I'm thinking too much into it.
I love
Yeah.
all this stuff, man.
Put it
I mean, he
down.
says it. Someone says it right at the beginning of the album. It's just like, man, I'm kind of hungry. I'm just gonna get something to eat.
You remember?
It's really
the
what it's
fat
about.
boys are back,
Yeah.
and they'll never be whack or whack.
Yeah, Fat
I'm
Boys.
hungry. I'm starving. I need some food. Plain and simple, or whatever.
Yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, a lot of that stuff. I developed an artistic method. This is a little off topic, but David Cho was hugely influential in. He explained the catalyst and how he developed his method.
Is he
helped
an
me out.
artist?
Yeah,
I think I know
he
him.
famously painted the Facebook offices and got
Okay.
paid in stock and made a whole bunch of money. But he does a lot of
Yeah, I think I
watercolors
know
and
him.
other paintings I really enjoy. And he does like YouTube content too, which is easily accessible. But that has been a big influence in me, putting my process down on paper and then sharing it with other people to like, show how the sausage is made and stuff like that for, other artists I talk to, like people that I run into at work I've shared my method with Matt, I share my method with stuff like that. What about, did you have an album or something that changed your life or you wanted to throw out there? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Man, I already talked about Juice WRLD. It was
Juice
very-
WRLD hit mad hard, like a
It was
ton of
so
bricks.
cool because I was into screamo a lot, and I
Yeah.
see, and I for a while I don't know, I just kind of stopped listening to music. I
And it
got
was like a
stuck
little
in the
after too. It was a little.
way late.
He
I'm
was like,
always late with
he was like,
everything.
yeah, you ever hear? I was like, maybe he's like a phenomenal, like a
I mean, the
global,
guy who
like,
died like
he's
2 years
beloved.
ago.
And he was dead. And I was like, yeah. But I'm the same way. I miss huge, cultural
Yeah.
things sometimes, like a giant song. I'll hear years later and be like, dude,
Yeah.
this is great.
For a long time, I had a thing too where I was like, if you say it's cool, I don't care.
Yeah,
You know
it
what
can.
I mean?
I can be like that sometimes.
But now I'm kind of just giving in, and I'm just all right. I'll make the decision, And that guy, man, and I don't know what it was. I'm very I love when people can put the whole package together, like corn. You know what I mean? Though, like corn won't be corn. I mean, they couldn't have a different name, in my opinion. They just put the whole package all
In
together.
hindsight, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, or is that because I only see them as that? But everything they do just seems like it fits the mold, and I like that. In
Yeah,
artists.
they
like,
have
it's
a
tight.
brand.
Yeah,
They
have
are
a brand.
authentically new metal, right?
Yeah,
That's what it's called, new metal.
almost to a point where it's over the top. But I don't know, that Juice WRLD, he had that, but he also had this fun, like carefree vibe about him. Just wants to see people happy.
Yeah.
Everybody around him,
Ecstasy of heavy drug use.
drugs. You gotta share all the drugs you got.
I think the best performers and just the people who are the best at being famous, just like a public icon, are the people who, naturally you gotta have probably high energy. Maybe if you're low energy and you turn that into your character and you can make it work. But you gotta have kind of high energy. You gotta have a certain amount of things that are natural for you, and then you gotta choose to really amp those up for a character.
Okay.
You gotta play a character that's kind of just a caricature of yourself.
Yeah.
And I think the people who do that really well are the best at like being famous.
Right.
Like I think someone that I could name as an example of that is like Charlie XCX. Like I feel like she really does like to go out and party. Like she really seems like that. Like if she wasn't famous, then she straight up would still just be partying all the time at like 32 or whatever she is.
So when you say energy, do you mean energy in their performance or their overall
Just
playing their
a
part,
high
playing their
energy
role?
person. Like I personally am not really a very high energy person, and I'm not saying like oh that's like hindered me or anything like that, but I feel like when
Compared to
like,
what though? A high
like,
energy person? There's other low energy people.
that can make it work.
People
that can
easily
make it work.
gravitate towards it, is what you're kind of saying.
Yeah,
right?
like someone who's just like the term from a couple years ago would have been always on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we all know someone who is just always on. That just seems like if they didn't have to sleep, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, and those and can probably be pretty insufferable to be around for like an extended period of time. But
especially now with people that have filmers, you know, like a constant filmer following them, and they are
Can't
putting
turn
on
it
a
off.
performance and they're content pilled and they're making content nonstop. Like people that have YouTube shorts, you know, like Wiz Khalifa's Day to Day. He's had people biographers following him for forever, and it's just boy with the camera.
I feel like he would kind of fit for what we were saying with like someone that's low energy.
Yeah.
That would make it like I feel like rappers kind of tend
Can get away.
to be able to get away with like being real low energy.
That's what I was saying.
But
like
it's
Eminem
cool,
he'd
you know.
be like, you know.
Yeah.
But his music had high energy. That's what made me think. Like, what did you mean?
Eminem.
But if you interviewed him, he probably, you know what I mean? He'd have his little pride. Be down with this.
I feel like he gives a
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then when he's on stage, he's like.
He's got a lot to do, man. That's crazy.
So
I
it's a
never
little
want to have
different.
responsibility.
He's a performer.
There's so many words. to say.
I
Whew.
can't imagine.
I feel like
I
I'm
could barely
wordy.
remember.
Imagine if I was writing like Eminem or Snow or something like that.
There's been plenty of times where I'm like, dude, I can't get all these words out in this one little pocket.
And I'll be like, I'll change it. He'd be like, no, I'll make it fit.
I got it. Because I can always hear it. I can always see it. It's just doing it sometimes. But figure it out.
So let's see. All right, we want. All right, I was gonna ask maybe I guess kind of like a deep question about like relationships and stuff, but I'm seeing
Cool.
I'm seeing this question below it that's like a trash like kind of funny question. Which one do we want to go with?
Dude, them both, man.
All right, I'll ask the
I can deal
trash
with
question
anything.
first.
I can deal with
So I think we talked about street beefs, right?
anything. Oh yeah, street beefs.
Yeah. So
Or beef matches.
and we talked about death sentence, right?
Death sentence. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
he's getting trained by Demetrius
But
Johnson.
I was gonna ask, how do we feel about that? How do we feel about death sentence?
I just saw his last fight, and I saw he got a win.
Yeah, he won.
He won.
He won by he got like a triangle choke or something.
And did you see the guy that dresses up as death sentence now?
No, but I'm so glad that he has this following.
He calls himself Death Sentence's #1 student, and he can fight.
Nice.
I think his name's like Central C or something.
Oh, Central C?
I think
What
is
the
that
fuck?
him?
Central C is famous. Central C is a rapper.
No. His name's like that. It's something C. It's something with a C and C. He's a fighter. He fights in street beefs.
Okay.
But he's like a meme. He like dresses up like characters like from anime. He dresses up like Death Sentence now.
Yeah.
And does fights.
Yeah.
So you'll see him like standing on top of the cage when like Death Sentence is fighting. So I think that's awesome. A thing to do. As long as it doesn't stray into exploitative, but it seems like he loves it.
Mighty Mouse does not seem like the
he's a
type
great
of
dude.
to-
Long-time
to be
Twitch
like
streamer
that.
too.
If it was like Sean Strickland was training with this guy, I'd be like, yo.
If Colby Covington was streaming, I'd be like,
something
all right,
like
nah,
that.
dude,
I'd
that's
be
not
like,
that cool.
nah.
Maybe don't do that.
I wouldn't even need to look into it. I would be
Yeah.
like, he's exploiting this man.
Yeah, but it seems like everything is above board, and it seems like he's becoming a better fighter because of it. So I 100%
he won.
support that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's makes her a great story too, because if that guy didn't get that exposure, you think he would have ever, he ever would have met that guy and would have got that extreme training. So that's like the power of the internet. I love that.
Yeah, all just because he he just goes all out in his
But
fights.
that's like you were saying.
Just the respect for
Death sentence, high energy. He's
exactly what I'm talking about.
magnetic.
Just
you see that guy? Oh, you're never gonna forget Death sentence.
Exactly. Everyone wants to see. It doesn't matter that he loses every fight. Everyone wants to see him.
Yep.
Just because he screams in the beginning.
Yeah. Good attitude.
He has a head. He wears the Naruto headband.
He thinks that is real.
And like the rest of his outfit is he wears like a ninja outfit, I think.
I love
it. And
what's
he
going on with that cup?
He has a cup?
Dude, it's a cup. It like sticks like out to here. He's wearing like it's like a huge cup, dude.
I mean,
it's crazy.
It kind of. I mean, it must have flown under the radar for me because of everything else.
Yeah, the black is slipping.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, he starts every fight with a jumping kick. I mean, yeah, that's a perfect example for what I was talking about. Like a high energy dude who just you can't help but be drawn to.
Who are you talking about?
Death sentence. You know,
and
the
fighter
street
you need
beefs.
to check out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard
man.
for me to watch that kind of stuff when I'm not training because I just miss it so much.
Yeah, bare knuckle fights because you're not doing bare knuckle fights
I
anymore.
was in
So
the
you don't
bare
I
knuckle
mean, that-
circle. Do you remember Kimbo?
Yeah. All right, I understand that, but like personally, when I watch street beefs, like watching professional MMA, I'll watch that and be like, oh man, this could be me out here. But like street beefs, I'll watch that and be like, I'm so glad I'm not doing this.
That could actually be you. All you have to do is email
I'm just
street
like,
beefs.
I'm like, I'm watching that like this could be me if I really went downhill.
Yeah.
If I really just decided to say fuck
Are
it
these
with
bum,
my
is
life.
this like bum fights like back in the day? Or
It's like
Kinda, a little more.
It's like higher class than bum
It's
fights.
like a boxing gym was like, hey, stop shooting each other, kids. If you have a beef, come
Yeah,
film it
yeah,
here.
it's
and
more
we'll,
like that.
We'll film it and exploit you.
That's
I mean,
Yeah,
put it on YouTube for no money while you get brain damage and we get YouTube money.
I got it.
Reviews, and it blew up.
Yeah.
Slightly
Crazy.
more ethical than bum fights.
Yeah,
because
so,
they do it.
you know.
It's voluntary. They want to come on there, and
So nobody's skating by and like tagging up their back as they're fighting. You ever see that? They're tagging bums.
You gotta start a beef with another DJ or like performer or something like that, and just throw it out there. It can't. Nothing bad can happen from it. I mean, unless he like beats you up like
The wrong
unexpectedly.
DJ.
Like
Yeah, he picked
he
the
sees you
wrong
at a bar
DJ.
and like takes it too
I
real.
mean, dude, DJ. I haven't experienced it personally, but DJ culture can definitely be like that.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, there was one time when so I did a couple shows out of a Quaker meeting house. Me and this one dude used to play shows out of. We used to invite people to play at this Quaker meeting house. His dad was the groundskeeper.
Wait, what's a Quaker? Like actual Quakers, like the
Like
people?
Like Quakers, yeah. Like they.
Wait, where are
You know it?
Quakers around here or in PA? They're in PA, right?
They're here too. I'm good.
Are they around here?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
okay, I'm not familiar.
there's meeting houses around here too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, his dad was the groundskeeper for one of these meeting houses, and the Quakers would only come in to meet every Sunday was when they would do their thing.
Okay.
So we would throw shows mostly on Saturday, and
Nice.
like clean up and everything before the Quakers came in, and they were apparently cool with us doing that.
Nice.
Just as long as we have everything cleaned up. And yeah, there was this DJ. Probably the biggest event that we had was a hip hop show.
Nice.
And I'm not really a rap. I think I was talking to you guys though. You guys brought up wanting to be a rapper.
Since we were little, yeah.
Yeah.
Since we first heard rap.
Yeah.
It's
But
in my
then-
yearbook in like 3rd grade. It says,
but
what do
then,
you want to
like-
do when you grow up? It's a rapper.
But
And
then like
Brad, I think Brad put the same thing.
yeah, but then sometimes and especially as a white guy, it's kind of tough. It's kind of especially like a white guy growing up in the suburbs. It's like, I'm not trying to
It's
necessarily
what do you complain about?
go out. Yeah, exactly.
What do you
It's like how would I fit in?
Yeah.
But
People do
yeah.
it.
So we did this rap show, and I was like, I'm not gonna go out there and like play my electronic songs that's gonna
Right.
clear out the whole house. So I decided to do a few rap covers, and I was really feeling myself. Like the crowd seemed to be feeling it and everything. They seemed to like it, and so then this DJ got up there. I think he was the DJ for the headliner, and he was playing, and it was cool, but he was, you know, kind of overstaying his welcome a little bit. He was
Is there like time slots?
I can't remember. This was a
thing to
while
do, right?
ago. This was a
'cause
while
it's not
ago.
like stand-up comedy where someone's gonna flash the light on you.
Yeah, I feel like there were probably not many explicitly spoken rules for this type of thing. But I just remember he was like, you know, kind of just like, you know, overstaying his welcome a little bit. I remember I went up to him, and he probably tells this story a little differently if he remembers it at all. But I just remember being like, yo man, like, is it cool if you know, we have someone else come on, and he was like, this isn't even my whole night. He was like, I have somewhere else to be, like, and I don't know, I don't even know how that, like, what kind of point that argues.
Yeah.
But
so you didn't answer the question.
yes, and I feel like if anything that kind of like argues my point. Like then you should kind of want to get the fuck out then.
I
but
take a hint.
but yeah, I remember he was real pissed that I kind of like suggested that he should maybe wrap it up in a little bit, and
It's fucked
and
up.
yeah,
Why'd you tell him to do that?
then he ended up staying the whole night too. So that was
it
was kind of, I guess his plans got canceled.
Play or watch? So he
to just like
Okay.
hang out. I don't know. I just remember.
He's like, I got someplace to be.
No, yeah,
It's called
I
the
remember.
crowd.
I remember him being like, yo, I got another show after this. Like I guess to be like, I'm more important than you or whatever you have going on here. But
I was wondering actually, because DJs like is usually one person, right?
yeah,
So do you find more like people that are more like into themselves kind of thing, because it's like a one thing?
it's kind of like the stereotype. I feel like.
But you always get that in a band too, though.
Yeah,
Right? You get one
yeah.
person in a band that's the.
I feel like there's usually more than one person in the band that's kind
All
of
of
not
them?
there for the band, kind of just there for
To
what
plug
they're
in and
doing.
play?
Yeah, exactly. Usually the guitarist is if there had to be one.
Who's
But-
the divas? Or usually say singers, right?
Yeah, guitar and
Frontman.
singers. I
Singers.
kind of.
Bass
yeah.
players are like, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, exactly. Bass and drums. The rhythm section is usually just happy to play.
Because they got somewhere to be afterwards too. 'Cause they're in like 5 bands.
Yeah.
Like everybody needs them. So I missed that whole that question though. Are we getting to the serious question now?
Oh yeah,
Let's just
yeah.
do the
That
serious
all
question,
came
right?
off of
Yeah, we're
Death
talking
Sentence,
about
right?
DJs.
Yeah. So I guess that kind of goes into the next question, which was the best experience that you've had with someone that you wouldn't have had if you weren't in a band together, or the worst. Because I know
that we
there's a
wouldn't
lot
have
of
had,
that I've had personally.
we wouldn't have had if we weren't in a band together. You know, I think filming the Tiny Desk submission was a good exercise
That was a lot of fun.
packing up the gear, because you know we do the open mics, but we are not a gig band.
Mhm.
We are a YouTube open mic band. You know, so we don't like pack all the gear up, get the whole band together, and like
Mhm.
go film something. You know, like
That was
'cause-
neat. It worked out. We all took a day off of work.
yeah,
My cousin, very good at filming and editing and everything. She had the best place to do it. I think that place was so cool. It was her apartment that we filmed.
Yeah, that's
in.
cool.
It was neat. It was cool. We played. I don't know. Played 2-3 hours, then got some grub, and
yeah.
she was like going away. She got the deadline. It was like 2 days. She chopped it up. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I think we did more songs too, and I had asked her. I was like, "Can you send it to me?" Because I didn't want to burden her with doing more. She does a lot of other stuff too, so I started trying to do it myself, and I couldn't do it, man. I could not get it. Learned a lot there too. Screwed up some things, recording wise.
Yeah, that was a good experience.
It was cool.
We don't do a lot because we're in a band, because we already know each other. You know, like we have families and stuff, so we'll get our families together
That's cool.
and stuff like that. We just that just happens. That's not because
Our
we're in
kids
a
are
band.
close to the same
Yeah.
age.
So we have
you know?
way better stories and crazy things that happen to us because we just know each other.
Mm-hmm.
But like because we're in a band, like I don't know,
Yeah.
we do
It's
some
nothing different.
team building exercises. Sometimes we played in front of the art museum, just like not busking, but just park bench, playing our songs. You know,
That's
like
cool.
we've done it a couple years in a row. And then we go, have a couple drinks, go into the art museum, and then consume amazing art. So
And the food they got there.
Yeah,
and else.
stuff like that. So that's a great thing. It's almost annual that we love doing.
Try to do like a what do we call it? Enrichment, like a band enrichment stuff.
Yeah, that.
Take a trip,
That's cool.
do mushrooms.
Partying. Investigating horse farms.
Oh,
Almost drowning in the ocean.
yeah.
Well, the first day Matt learned how to swim. A bunch of other stuff just
Get
happened. Getting jobs at the same place was hilarious for a long ton of years.
You got jobs at the same place on purpose.
Fuck
Hard.
yeah, so good.
Yeah,
That's
it
cool.
was crazy. It was like 4 or 5 of us that were
Watch
all.
it. We basically were playing catch the whole time. We
We
were
Wait,
can't
how-
talk about it too
How did
much.
you do
We
that?
might
How do
incriminate ourselves.
5 people all get jobs at the same
They were
place?
desperate, I guess.
They fired like the old like detailing group, like everybody, and like everybody like washed cars, detailed,
we're gonna
cleaned
wash
cars, everything. They just fired everybody. They needed a bunch of people, so they were like asked the people that are
Yeah.
currently working. Do you know anybody?
So-
anybody, bro?
How-
And then the next person shut up. Do you know anybody?
Yeah,
They're
we're
like, we're
like,
dying for people. Can they drive stick?
Dude,
It's
yeah.
fine. Get them
Yeah.
anyway. We'll teach them on a car. They'll install it out.
Can you drive stick? Are you saying hot wire? Like, yeah, he can hot wire anything. Like,
We need
So-
somebody here stealing stuff.
yeah.
I know somebody.
So you telling me you missed the opportunity to do a car wash music video?
Definitely. We didn't start doing music
Nah,
together till
this is 2006.
kinda recent,
We
yeah.
got jobs at the same place. 2005, around there.
yeah.
We both worked at a clothing place together. That was
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
That's pretty wild.
But
We lived with each other a few different times. He lived with me in high school.
yeah.
Moved senior year. He moved in for a little bit, and then I don't know, 3 years after that, I moved in with him.
That's cool.
So there was always something going on, but no, we never.
But in
did
that time,
music together.
he was just in other bands and stuff. I was
Well,
just doing my own thing.
Everybody was doing it. Yeah, everybody was doing little things. Mainly we skated though. You know, skated together. Always. We're chilled. Got jobs together.
Yeah.
But the most, to go back to your question, the most enrichment thing you said?
No, we just
Or
said
just
that word.
like
The
I
best
don't know, like
experience
best,
because you're in a
best,
band.
worst
Because of a
experience, maybe
band.
just like craziest experience.
Cool stuff is seeing things come together. I've always like did beginnings of things, never put it together. So seeing things finish and finalize
Mhm.
is really cool. Getting them on Spotify, even though they still won't let us claim our music.
Yeah, the one thing we did together is the song 3/16 that we have, 3/16 of a cigarette. That's about the experience of meeting this guy Aaron and going to play music, live music at like a person's house, the home recording studio,
Mhm.
and that whole process was hugely influential and showed us a lot of like what helped Matt make a lot of decisions of what he wants, what he doesn't want, what he wants to hear in the songs, live music opposed to studio recorded stuff,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So the song 3/16 is a lot about that.
I think for a while it was like building confidence too, like playing with other musicians. I haven't played with somebody else in a while, but like playing with them and saying, "Oh, okay," like and learning from them and seeing a couple of dudes become pretty successful with their careers.
Yeah, jam after just jam and just meeting these people, just going, hey, we'll jam
Yeah.
and see what's going on.
Because for a while it was just me and him, like in a room like this, just sweating away, like making funny songs.
Yeah, it was
or
at Matt's
whatever.
garage, just
Oh.
boiling.
Boy, he would tell me I get so depressed when we play here. It was just because we moved into the house and there was just boxes everywhere.
I'm like sitting
It was
on the
just like-
lawnmower. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah,
chill
yeah.
out here.
It's got a real grassroots feel. Oh,
Yeah,
pun intended.
Yeah, nice.
Grassroots feel to it.
yeah. I mean, the band and the friendship it's like booty sweat, you know. It's the same thing.
You said the news, the same thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh yeah.
I got halfway. Pretty funny.
Right?
Yeah.
Really
wanted to
funny
watch the
movie
whole
about
thing.
music, right?
It's very funny. Yeah.
It's a pretty bad case of getting cut in half, huh? That's a good one.
Yeah, I like how they led up to it too. It's kind of like that. Oh, this is how it happens.
Every time they do a hard
Hot
cut
tub
to
time
him,
or
like
something.
on stage singing a song, you know you're about to hear the wildest lyrics you've ever heard.
Did you do what I suggested though and watch Ray, or well, not Ray, but Walk the Line? You gotta watch Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't
documentary.
watch that
It's like the
one.
main thing it's spoofing.
Yeah,
Kinda like
yeah.
the main
It's
thing.
it's kind of like it's a few things like how Scary Movie used to do. Like it would mainly be about like whatever movie was popular at the time, but then it would be like, you know, this movie's got that one part in it.
Yeah, The
so we
Ring,
gotta
The Grudge.
yeah.
So it's like they make fun of like the Beatles and Walk Hard. They make fun
Yeah,
of like
yeah,
multiple
yeah,
different
exactly.
bands.
That's why I had to
It's just
stop,
like
man.
just like band
That's right.
documentaries in
I had to
general.
I
stop.
don't want no
It's
part
so
of this
good.
shit, dude.
What's his name? I seen him. The same dude with the jelly beans in Tropic Thunder. He was.
Jack Black?
Yeah.
He's in Walk Hard.
No, it was
Nah.
jelly beans. Jelly beans. Is it Jack Black?
That's Jack Black.
Yeah. He's one of the Beatles, ain't he?
Oh wait.
He's one of
Is
the
he
Beatles.
really?
In the beginning, I think he's like the first one they panned to. I know, man. I had
Paul
Jack-
Rudd, one of the Beatles.
Jack
too?
Black
Screaming
as a
migraine
Beatle.
last night.
I forget who was all the Beatles, but I remember it was like
Jamie.
pretty good guys, pretty good like serious guy. I think it was Paul Rudd was one, right?
Ah, dude, that's right where I fell asleep.
Yeah,
I
finish
shouldn't
watching
even
that.
went that
Don't
far.
forget that, dude.
I know where I'm at. Yeah, I'm gonna watch
That's
it.
such a good movie.
I just gotta say that I'm so glad that Jack Black is, I always say, the only celebrity that I actually give a shit about. Like
I'd run with him.
if there's any news, I don't think he does much running,
Yeah.
but like if there's any news about a celebrity, I always just don't really care unless it's Jack Black.
So why?
Talk about high
just
energy.
because because as a kid, like every awesome thing had Jack Black in it, and I really love that that's kind of how it is with kids nowadays too. Like
Yeah.
I played last night at the 5th grade dance. I played Steve's Lava Chicken. Yeah, and that was one of like 4 songs.
That's like a
that
30-second
they
song,
lost.
right?
that-
There's
I know,
30
I
seconds.
know. They were.
You can play it 8 times.
I was about to. I was thinking about it. I was like, how do I loop this in a way that they won't notice?
Did you see the movie yet?
No. I would if I had a kid, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I just
doing
wanna
that,
see
You don't need an excuse.
DJing a 5th grade dance is the closest I've ever come to having to
Entertaining.
having to understand what kids are into
Nice.
nowadays. And yeah, I learned that they are very into the Minecraft movie.
What's like your quintessential Jack Black film? Like, what's your go-to? Like your favorite one?
All right, so I mean, as a kid, it's School of Rock.
Yeah.
School of
But
Rock.
then-
Oh, okay.
But
I thought you were
then-
gonna hit me with like a High Fidelity, or like a
Oh no! See, I'm not really like
a Cable
I-
Guy or something, like a
I'm
deep
not-
cut.
I don't really know the deep guy. I like Shallow Hal. That's a good one.
Shallow House, a
But,
classic.
But yeah, I don't really know. I'm not like a super fan of
Okay.
anything.
Did you see Saving Silverman?
Yeah, I think I've seen that
Check
one.
that one out.
Yeah,
That's a good one if you haven't
I've
seen it.
definitely seen that one. But yeah,
They're all
yeah,
good.
a-
I
as a
can't name
kid-
a bad one.
As a kid, it's School of Rock, and then as an adult, or even as a teenager, Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny. Those are the 2 quintessential ones, I would
Yeah.
say. And they're both about being in a band
he's the
and
main
everything
character,
too.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
I don't
Tropic Thunder was dope, but he's not the main dude. in
Yeah,
that.
steals
I
the
mean,
show, though.
he's
He
one of the
does
best
steal the show,
characters
yeah.
in Tropic Thunder,
I
but
don't mean to get political on
yeah.
the podcast, but how do you feel about Tenacious D breaking up, man?
that's dumb.
Is
bullshit.
that fake or is that real?
I think it's fake. It's totally fake.
I honestly think, not to speak ill of Jack Black, but I think he honestly had like Minecraft and his other movie coming out before that. Not the Satan one, but the other one before that, and he was like, yeah, he was probably like, yo, man, you can't mess this money up for me right now.
But
like,
also,
I
don't
got
know.
Minecraft coming out. I'm beloved by the world.
But also, like, the way I think about it is like, Kyle Gass probably gets a good amount of that money. You know, or maybe he does. Like, I feel
he
like
gets the Jack Black and acting
like
money?
indirectly maybe. Like, it seems like
From
they really
exposure.
are best friends in real life. Like, or at least they seem like they truly are very tight in real life. And I would imagine like maybe Jack Black isn't like straight up just giving him money like that, but I would imagine it's like, yeah, I would imagine what's good for Jack Black is also good for Kyle Gass.
Fuck yeah.
So
If Jack Black wasn't who he was, the Tenacious D movie never gets made.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, exactly. They would have never, and I think you guys are the ones that really made me realize how many celebrities are in that movie. Like, if Jack Black wasn't a celebrity himself, then they would have never been able to get what Dio, Meatloaf, like so many celebrities in that.
Just make a
Fucking
phone call.
Ben
They're
Stiller.
Like, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool to see that.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorites. And I'm the type of person where like most of my favorite movies kind of have to be like about music or like about like a band or something. It has to be like Spinal Tap or like
Spinal Tap's funny.
Whiplash is one of my favorite
Whiplash
movies
is
of all
good.
time.
J.K.
So-
Simmons.
Yeah. So yeah,
Whiplash is great,
Tenacious D
dude.
is like the perfect movie for me.
I'm working with a cat that plays classical music, and
Yeah.
I think it's classical music. It's good, but he was telling me how that movie's kind of like bullshit, kind of like
Whiplash.
yeah, kind of like that's not how it really was. But I'm like, it's such a good movie though, right?
I mean, I feel like it depends who you're working with. Like,
yeah.
I definitely like even from just being in school, like I never actually tried to like get competitive with music or like tried to be a session player or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I knew people who were like really trying to make moves with like playing their instrument, and it can be like that.
It's dramatic.
I remember
it works for the film.
I used to give guitar lessons to this girl who was like a straight virtuoso pianist, and she would always say, the classical world is cutthroat.
Oh
Yeah,
She
right.
played at like Carnegie Hall and stuff. She
Oh, wow.
and I would trust her
So
opinion
you think there's a
about
little
that.
truth to it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the reason that I like that movie so much is because I relate to it, and
Yeah.
I just relate to like how serious people get about something that is supposed to take your mind off of like the serious things in the
Yeah.
world.
I tell you what, I was working at a high school over summer, and I could see the marching band like play on the football field practice, and man, they practice. They carry all their equipment out there. They're
Yeah.
practicing just as hard as the football team, everybody else.
Yeah.
They got that metronome, that real loud.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
like, what even beat
I
is
think that's kind of what made it resonate with me because I was
Okay.
in the drum line in
Okay.
high school,
Ooh, good movie too.
and yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Who was drumming in that movie? Was that Nick Cannon? That wasn't him, right? That's just joke. Somebody else's joke.
You're telling me a shrimp fried this rice? That's
I'm a
all
big
right.
fan of that.
I owe that joke. If this ever gets to him, I owe that joke to Colin that I used to work with at Sonero.
Big shout out to Colin.
Big shout out
Big
to
Sonny.
Colin for that joke because
See, dog?
That's a good one.
I never heard that joke before, and he said something about it, and I was just I thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
Dude, some
and
people
then-
hate it.
And then
Some
and
people
then
are
he was
not
like,
ready
"What,
to laugh."
You've never heard that
Yeah.
before?"
I'm in
He's
the
like,
dark.
I feel like I say that
It's
every
old
other
now,
day.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's
no,
been a while.
I can't say I've heard that
I'll
one.
check it out after I finish Walk Hard.
Did you ever see The Sound of Metal?
The
That's
Sound
a
of
good one.
Metal. No,
Ooh,
I
you're
don't
a
think
drummer
so.
too, dude.
Oh,
It's a drummer movie.
The sound design. It's about a guy that loses his hearing. He's
Okay.
He's hooked on
Oh,
dope.
Beethoven. I love him.
He's hooked on dope, and he's losing his hearing right now. And his music is like his whole identity.
From drumming, right?
So he has like this huge existential crisis while he's going through withdrawal, and the sound design puts you in his shoes of the film.
Oh, yeah.
Puts you in
Okay.
his shoes. So halfway through the film, I'm like, I'm deaf
It
too.
annoys
I'm
you.
losing my
Yeah,
hearing,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I hate it. And for the film to make you feel that, it's a great movie. I really recommend it to
Yeah, it
anybody
is good.
that
It's a little long.
appreciates any music or sounds, anything. Yeah, it's a really
It's a good
one.
story.
Sound of Metal.
Yeah. It's dope. Especially being a drummer, dude. You gotta check that out.
Is it any like actor or director that I would?
know, right?
Independent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it might
Is it
be
recent?
free on Prime. Within
Okay.
4 years old.
Okay. All right.
Really good movie though.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really like it.
That was the other one that got brought up when we were talking about Whiplash the other day. The Sound of Metal.
All right. So here's a construction question. Pretty
I don't do side work.
basic. Pretty. Okay.
Let's
well,
clap. And what do you need?
This one is just to be divisive and
Yeah.
controversial.
Nice.
Milwaukee or DeWalt?
Ooh. I like DeWalt.
Yeah, really? Nice.
That's just,
That's I was hoping for something like that.
Yeah, DeWalt.
Because most people go Milwaukee.
Nah, I don't.
Wow.
DeWalt. I can't really discuss the reasons here why I like DeWalt.
It just feels better.
Nah, I just the company I work for, it's all DeWalt, so I'm
Oh,
comfortable
okay.
with it.
All right.
It's like my
company man.
toothbrush, like my hand every day.
See,
The batteries I can switch. I don't have to go looking for a battery automatic.
It's always the battery.
Yeah.
For my home stuff, I'm DeWalt all the way. All my
Yeah.
stuff is DeWalt. But if I had the money and I had to redo it over, it'd be all Makita.
Oh, Makita.
Wow.
I'd
Okay.
be Makita guy all the way.
Yeah. What is
See,
I just feel like they work a little nicer, last a little longer.
it? Makita?
Yeah. I'm a
see,
Makita guy.
I've kind of always I've always felt the same because
Color's nice.
but
I like the color
for me,
too.
I was just gonna say, for me,
Cool
it's really
blue.
about how they look. I think Makita's
Yeah.
stuff looks the best.
Yeah.
And
I like
for
Milwaukee's easy to find your shit. When you see a red thing over there,
Yeah.
bright red, like there's the
yeah, that's true.
yeah. I like
DeWalt
that.
is the same with that.
Right.
You don't see many like red and black things.
They pick their
Just be like, is that a B or
orange.
my drill?
What's Bridget is like orange and
Bridget.
black.
Yeah. Green is green
Ryobi?
is Ryobi.
Yeah, Cobalt. Lowe's
Dark
tried to make
blue,
blue.
like
Like,
dark blue,
everybody's
yeah.
like fighting for the last couple colors.
Yeah.
Tools.
Yeah.
Binford.
Don't matter.
Yo, you
Binford
know,
was a weird blue.
you know what?
Binford.
That was Makita blue, right?
Yeah.
Binford
Dark.
tools.
I think Binford was dark blue.
You know what the revolutionary one is gonna be when they come out with pink tools. That's gonna be.
He's
That's
got
gonna
whole
take a
closet
while to
full.
get going.
Dude, that
but
was
once
the-
it hits,
That was an episode of Home Improvement. Like that was like word
What,
for
pink
word. They
tools?
made like pink,
tools,
drills.
yeah.
And they were like,
What's
Tim
her
was
name?
like,
Heidi.
yeah.
What's
They were like low powered,
Lucky
and like
guess.
Tim took a stand and was like, no, we're not making it.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna cost something like that. yeah, I remember. So I
When
used
shows
to do.
really weren't afraid to say something. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. When men were men. So I used to do, not really construction, but I used to install like TVs and AV stuff
Oh, nice.
in like office buildings and stuff. And every once in a while, we would do an open construction building, and we would be required to wear hard hats and
yeah.
like high vis vests and steel toe boots and stuff like that. And our project managers would show up, and I'm sure you know about this when the project manager shows up, and they do all like the cosmetic stuff. Like it looks like they were going to a business meeting, and before they got out of the car, they're like, "Oops, let me get my hard hat."
The cleanest hard hat.
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
ever
exactly,
seen.
exactly.
Seen
Rub that
oh,
shit in
right.
Yeah,
the mud
and
a little
I
bit,
remember,
dude. Rub it on the scaffolding on your way up.
Sneakers on
dude.
their
Do
feet.
something.
Some-
yeah.
But some of the female PMs would show up, and they would have to be wearing like a pink hard hat. They would have to be wearing like a pink high vis vest, cause like
Yeah.
I don't see that too often. Yeah.
Well, they don't let women on his job site.
Yeah, well,
that wouldn't work.
yeah, if
Because
you
the
know.
dogs wouldn't know how to act.
Nah.
But yeah,
Dude,
I think so.
it's funny that you mentioned that because the one site that I worked at, I swear to God, the women would, and I'm sorry if you know what, fuck it, no apology. We're going live. I'm saying what I'm saying. I swear the women would show up sometimes and wear stuff that they were trying to get attention from the dogs. Did you ever see anything like that?
I've seen it both ways.
There were
Like not
stories-
workers. I'm talking about like they I don't know this for sure, but it seemed like they were who the stuff was being done for. They were like the executives or whatever.
For me, like he said, like we're not really around them too often. We're usually in the sky on a high reach someplace doing something.
Oh, okay,
or,
yeah. So
or underground doing
yeah,
something.
so we would probably come in like well after that all that was done.
So
Okay.
But I have seen times where like somebody said something and they're like, oh, you're not allowed to park there anymore, guys. Now you're parking like down there because you can't say stuff to people. And then I've seen it the other way around where
Can't catcall them anymore.
Yeah.
I once had a job where there's a pedestrian bridge near a school, and they had to send all the workers to sensitivity training because they were catcalling the children.
I mean,
leaving the school.
Wait, the children?
I mean, that's who goes to school.
They were catcalling the children?
Teenage girls. They all had to go the whole crew had to go to sensitivity training because they were catcalling the children leaving school at 2:30 to go.
Yeah, that's...
I don't know if that answers your question, but there's a bunch of dogs in the industry that we work in. So they usually, they keep the ladies in the office.
Keep them locked up.
And there's been other scenarios that people tell story. That's the benefit of being on a job site is they tell the story about the crew from 20, 30 years ago that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
And there was the chick that was selling favors in the back of the van that had a mattress in it or stuff like that. Like there's crazy stuff like that. It's like you can't even believe that.
But then you hear also of these guys doing extraordinary things like chick gets robbed and they run down and beat the shit out of dude and grab the purse and give it back to her. There's still, it's just like every other industry and trade. There's great, amazing people to look up to, and there's people that you don't want to hang out with. You could get mixed up with.
And there's the dude that drank 30 lunch beers in one shift. You know
Lunch
what I mean? Like, there's that guy. There's the legend. Like,
the dude that we could tell stories, but we might have to rename the podcast.
You ever get just to get really tangential here, because I just one thing that really stuck out to me when I was working those kinds of jobs is the fucking racism in the porta potties. You guys ever see that? Just like straight up
we take pictures and send it to
white
each other all the
supremacist shit in the bathrooms.
When you
depends
say
the job site you're on, man.
Yeah,
some are like that, but then others are that stuff doesn't last one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people shut it down. I've seen that. Yeah. People, I'm on a job now. This poor dude's getting ripped. They're killing him.
Usually, bosses, people of importance are the target of people's vitriol and stuff like that.
Not all the time, but
it's
sometimes
better when
it's
it's like that.
Sometimes it's like, hey man, like I can't say it to his face. Maybe he'll hit it up. Sometimes people just got something to say. I don't know.
Score to settle.
It's cool. Sometimes you see him like fight back.
That's what I would usually do.
Dumbass, like, why are you bringing me back?
My coworkers knew me as the guy.
Is cool.
My coworkers always knew me as the guy that would write some snarky shit underneath, like the white supremacist shit.
You can't get too crazy either, because then they stop giving you toilet paper. They stop putting toilet paper and they stop cleaning them.
They were in control of the toilet paper.
Wait, but then remember your old job site. Yo, the porta potties in his old job site came up to here.
Yeah, you poop like
you had to sit like that. This was open air. Everything was open air.
You'd be working right there. It's on wheels too, so you could just if I'm in the work
they can take you.
You can roll me away. I'm pooping. If it's windy, dude, they'll go.
You're pooping in a public hallway of a hospital.
On the back is where the dude pees, so it's a double teamer.
I know this isn't a union job site.
Yeah.
Yes, it absolutely is a union job site.
Sanitary.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that on a non-union job.
Yeah, you
wouldn't allow it.
A 5-gallon bucket.
And that was out of necessity, because there was a line, and people were like, "Hurry up! What are you doing in there, dude?"
You're like, "Nothing."
Here, I'm counting markers. The paint's gotta dry.
Usually, you're blinking your pen out. You got a pen.
Yeah, he's gotta smoke and eat his lunch, right?
Porta potties are a whole nother world. So you get in there, sometimes you'll see a Wawa hoagie, like half eaten, a coffee, a cigarette still kind of lit in the urinal.
Somebody's phone and gloves on the space next to the thing all the time.
Dude, they eating them.
I remember, I mean, yeah, that shit, but I remember just like going in there. I remember going in to take a piss and seeing like some of the shit that stuck out to me was seeing like a nasty shit, but like something that made me think like this maybe, but like. Shit that made me think this dude needs medical attention. You know?
Yeah.
You can tell.
Festival toilets are by far worse than anything I've ever seen.
Festivals are pretty bad.
But job site toilets, because they come every week and absolutely just hose them down with the blue juice. And then
Like,
grind
it's
off
much
the
better,
graffiti.
yeah. And then clean them. Yeah, it's like, oh, cool, clean day, but everything's wet, and like you don't want to be near anything wet in a porta potty, no matter what it is. That's like the one rule. Like if it's
like
wet,
dripping. It's the worst.
a
dude.
good day
It's
is if there's soap in that little thing. Get some TP, get that. You can wipe that. Sometimes you're wiping up the butt cheek sweat marks from the dude that was there before because you don't put no paper down or
They
nothing.
get 30 degrees hotter than it is on a summer day. They just heat up like an oven.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's disgusting.
Everybody smokes cigs in them.
So all right, one just something I'm thinking on the fly to bring it back to the whole music thing.
Is that what this is about?
I'm still trying to decide myself,
Hey.
but yeah. Anyone on a job site that you've ever, I'm sure there's been plenty of people playing music that you don't like, because I know that's how it always is for me. But is there anyone that's ever been playing music on a job site that you're just like, yo, this guy knows his shit. This guy's playing banger after banger.
Like on the radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just like
Yeah.
just like they got their Bluetooth speaker, you know?
Old heads love to listen to, and I'm gonna say the average age of construction workers 50-something years old that I work with.
Classic
So they're listening to
rock,
classic
radio.
rock.
Yeah,
Oh,
classic rock. That's that
93.3
usually or-
Pierre Robert.
yeah, just like
Oh.
I never liked when it would just be like they would straight up play like Enter Sandman or something.
All
It's like,
day long.
dude, come on. If you like Metallica,
Rock
then
rock.
I know you're not just listening to Enter Sandman every day. Like, come on. Like,
But there is people that are just
I
listening
know
to like the
they
top
really
favorite
do.
band.
They really do.
Dude, not too long ago, he was an electrician, and he would play house music as loud as he
Yeah.
possibly fucking
So I
could.
appreciate this.
That-
guys.
that's what I'm talking
and it was
about.
fresh.
That's what I'm talking about.
People hated it. People were
Yeah,
shutting his radio
people
off.
people
And I'm
always
like,
hate
hold on,
it.
let him rock. I'm like, so I
Yeah,
started
let
talking
him
to
cook.
him,
Come on.
and he's telling me he had this crazy brain injury. So he's like, oh, let me bring you to a show and this and that. And he's like, kind of like this. I'm like, oh, I'm good.
Everyone's got a brain injury there.
He's like, dude, the mushrooms. He starts telling me about mushrooms and how it healed him, and then he tells me about the
Preach.
music and everything, and it was just refreshing to me. But everybody was kind of like down on the dude. I'm like, yo, this is cool. We're not listening to Pierre today.
Yeah.
You know.
Is this your? Oh, no, this is me.
That's you, yeah. That was neat. Younger kids, I'm finding out that the younger kids that get into the trade, they like older stuff. They're listening to classic rock still.
Yeah. I feel like I definitely saw that a few there were two kids that came in right before I quit at the AV place, and they were like 23, and they were also like that. They also listened to like older stuff. Like I remember I asked this one kid what he listens to, and he said like yacht rock and stuff, and I was like okay, like what kind of artist? And he was like, oh, I don't know, like Creed and stuff. and I exactly, I started laughing.
Yeah.
And I thought he was joking.
Yeah.
He was not joking.
You thought he was playing you?
Yeah. And I mean, cause like I don't know, like you guys know how it was when Creed was actually popular. Like
Yeah.
you
Dude,
can't
that
get caught
whole
listening
era
to
was
that.
You couldn't
Insane.
escape it. Yeah.
You can't like
Professional wrestling was huge.
yeah, like or like Nickelback or something.
Slim Jims were
Like
big.
like you can't get caught listening to like Creed or Nickelback
Yeah.
or like I mean after that, like the 2010s version of that I feel like was Mumford and Sons.
Yeah, it was
Like nowadays
What's that
people
called? Boom clap, yeah.
yeah
Right?
stomp clap hey.
Yeah. I love that for a genre description.
And like
it's so
yeah
perfect.
and looking back it's like some of that shit was really good, like
Absolutely.
Creed always had crazy riffs and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff's good. It withstood the test of time for a reason. Some stuff's undeniable.
But it's crazy to me that someone that like they're not embarrassed by it anymore. That it's like I guess there was probably a good amount of shit that we listened to like I don't know, I probably threw on like a Styx song back in the day.
Hey!
And then like in the 70s
Yeah.
that was like the embarrassing thing to
So,
listen
I'm
to.
glad you said
Absolutely.
Styx, because I think my musical listening is all because of skateboarding videos.
Skate videos.
Skate
Absolutely.
videos always would
Yeah.
have the most amazing genres.
CKY and shit.
And it would always match the skater.
Video production,
right?
and
the
timing.
skate, the
of
time.
landing
Yeah.
tricks
So
to the beat of the
cool.
song.
Yeah.
Was
And that was
hugely
like a good
influential.
song. I listened
The
to
Tony Hawk games too.
Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk
I
games.
listened to on the way here. Remember, Placebo or Placebo?
Yeah. Wait, there was like they
Every
were like.
You and Every Me.
Yeah.
No, wasn't there
And
another
Pure
song
Morning
by
is
them?
the other song
Me.
I really like.
Every You.
That was their
and
biggest one, I think.
Every Me. Oh my gosh, dude, it was so good. But I think it was the whole thing. It was like the visual. It was waking up on that Saturday, get that shower, put on a video. You're getting your skate gear together. You're hopping on the train or bus or wherever mom would take us,
Yeah.
or whoever's mom would take us, and then music, right? And the music was always crazy. It was like it always kept you going throughout the day.
Yeah.
We went to a couple X Games. Remember the X Games at Love Park?
Yeah.
Music. That's all I always remember is the music.
Yeah.
So good. They were playing Ring Ding Dong. Ring Ding Dong. Ring a ding
Yeah,
ding
and it was
dong.
crazy because some of the best songs and the best
Keep your
videos,
head
they were
down.
so good, they would get you really motivated to skate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you would be out there and you'd be hearing them.
All day.
You'd be listening to it.
Yeah.
It'd be in the
Soundtrack
line.
your
We
day.
didn't have headphones, nothing like that, because it would rip out of your pocket.
Talking shit to
You
security
couldn't have headphones.
because that's what they said in the video.
Yeah.
Like,
And it was always,
we literally tried to
I
act
remember
out the skate videos.
I remember the one line that really influenced me to be a lot ruder as a kid than I should have been
Yeah.
was something about what was it in Fat Lip by Sum 41 talking about like we laugh when old people fall. I remember hearing that and being like, if they can be that bad, if they can be that big of douchebags, then I'm
Yeah.
good with like whatever I do.
yeah, I love that. I appreciate that. Everything resonates different with somebody. Different things make different people laugh. It's
Some people laugh at old people falling.
yeah. I really appreciate a different sense of humor because I have a different one kind of.
Like remember when being a rude boy was a thing? That was like
Rude Boy, yeah.
listening to ska and
That's
shit.
still a thing. I
You
love
guys ever
ska.
you guys ever listen to Streetlight Manifesto?
No.
They're
I know
kind
the
of like
name really well, but why don't I know the songs?
they're like they're from New Brunswick.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, they were like my favorite ska band.
Really?
Yeah, but they I don't know, definitely made me listen to ska a lot more.
I feel like ska and punk always got lumped in together in like
Yeah,
the 90s, so that's
yeah.
why I got like
Yeah, like
exposed to so
Sublime
much
and
ska.
stuff.
Yeah.
Is it important to you guys that like a genre of music is a genre of music,
No, I don't give a shit.
right? Because
No,
I
I don't
hear
care.
everybody says it's this kind of music or it's this kind of music, it's this
It's,
kind of music.
it's just an
like,
easy way to
Well,
catch somebody up to speed and let you
Yeah,
know.
to just like
what-
categorize
yeah.
things.
to let you know what we're talking about.
I
Like,
got you.
I
But, like-
don't like the labels, and I think the labels like Boom Clap Yeah, like that's a cool new
It's-
one
it's
that's funny
fun,
that
yeah.
instantly tells you what the music is.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like-
exactly.
Okay.
I like stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll never be the type of person though that's like, oh, I only listen to this type of music,
Right.
because I feel like throughout my entire childhood and even now, like there's always something that I'm currently into, and then there's always the kind of stuff that like I identify with and that I'll
Yeah.
always be into.
So what made you get into the electronic music?
Let me think.
Was it like a band? Was it like
I do remember a few. I mean, we can't flip the interview on me, so I'm gonna make this quick.
Reverse question.
I'm gonna make this
more.
quick.
I have 3 more questions for you.
But I do remember a very like integral part of that was the album Settle by Disclosure. I remember always thinking of electronic music and like especially house or techno that has the kind of like 4 on the floor beat. I remember always being like, I hate that like type of shit. And then I heard I don't really know what it was either that appealed to me. I think it might be the fact that the first track on that album is really different, and it's called When a Fire Starts to Burn, and it's like they take it's almost like you remember like Hide Your Kids, Hide Your Wife, like they used to make they used to make like viral tracks out of out of like viral videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like that. It was the song When a Fire Starts to Burn is kind of like that.
Too, back then.
And it just really has it goes into like this cool house beat after, and for some reason that really got me. That really
like your
sold me.
Electronic music? That
Maybe that. I don't know if I could say that was the first. I remember being really into Herbie Hancock.
Okay.
And like, you know, all his synth albums and stuff. But I would say that was probably the first purely electronic album that I remember being super into.
Yeah. I hear a lot of people are in him. The thing was, for me, which is obviously huge, but Daft Punk was the first like electronic thing. I was like, whoa. Because none of it was on my radar at all. But that opened the door where I was like, oh, people are making stuff like this that isn't on the radio all the time, even though their stuff was, but like club music. You know what I mean? Like stuff like this will never be on any radio. Only like the top of the top will be, or like, you know, these are songs for dancing, for club music, for, you know, stuff like that, for doing drugs. You know what I mean? Like,
and I feel like Daft Punk
you
is the
don't want
perfect.
None of this. You don't want none of this.
Part of this doing.
It makes you feel good.
Daft Punk, I feel like, is the perfect, you know, house group or whatever, for people who don't listen to electronic music. Them, I feel like Daft Punk and Radiohead are kind of the gateways into electronic music for a lot of people.
Radiohead was always in like Alien Workshop videos. Remember that back in the day?
Yeah, they were doing stuff different.
New York, they were always.
Really, Radiohead?
I didn't have my phase yet with them. Yeah.
I still haven't had my Radiohead phase.
I'm excited for it. I hear it's great. Maybe on the second or third album I could start.
Yeah, I don't know. That Radiohead was something that just always clicked for me because I was always into super like artsy type of music. Like Sonic Youth is like a formative band for me. Like and that's another band that I feel like people were always trying to get me to like explain Sonic Youth to them, and I was always just like, I just like them. I never really had to like get them.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the same way with a lot of type of bands like that.
You know who I missed for a long time that wasn't on my radar, but actually the guitar player we had before introduced me to, Bon Iver.
Yeah.
Dude, his stuff, some of his songs, like nothing I'd ever heard before, kind of changed my life a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, everything, the art design, the whole total package. I was like, I'm here for it. I'm signed up. I'm praying at your church, dude. I like it. I like it. It's really cool. And I was like, where was this?
The story and everything there. I think he like recorded it at his parents' house.
Yeah.
I think isn't that like two guys?
It's a collective.
Yeah.
I only know I know the one guy like does interviews
the one
and
main
stuff.
guy. Yeah.
I don't know his name or anything.
His name is not Bon Iver.
Yeah. I was calling him Bon Iver until a couple weeks ago.
I think everyone was. Yeah. Dude, I remember some girl got so pissed at me for calling him Bon Iver, the correct name. And I remember shit like we were like hanging out at her house one day, and I'm pretty sure like I kind of just like left after that. She was like, dude, it's Bon Iver. Like, I don't get what you don't understand about that.
Music art,
why are you trying to pronounce it in this weird, like, pretentious French way?
People are from other places.
Yeah, she got real pissed at me for it.
Yeah, he was crazy. What? Do you ever think about like songs that you're like mandatory listening for like? Because I constantly am trying to show my kids music. And I'm like, I can't play this yet. This says crazy ass lyrics. You know what I mean? This is crazy slurs or crazy things I can't play yet. But you know, I can put on the clean version or show them a song that is timeless, that has, you know, clean lyrics, has been on the radio for 100 years. You know, stuff like. Do you ever think of stuff like that, of like electronic music that you would like start a kid on their path to their journey?
Kid, let's see. What would I? That's a good question.
What's the quintessential?
That's a good one.
Because even for myself, I want to know that. You know, I need to listen to more electronic music.
I mean, I feel like the kind of the first electronic song of all time was "I Feel Love" by Donna Summer.
Okay.
That's probably, but they might, it's gonna sound like old to them. It's gonna sound like
Right.
It's gonna sound like some like cheesy '80s song.
When
to them.
is the movie cut off? Where like this is in black and white. You can't show people this
Yeah.
now because they're gonna be
I guess
like,
that would
"What are
be
you saying, old guy?"
That would be Daft Punk probably. Like
Yeah.
like that would be around that time of Daft Punk. Cause all right, between "I Feel Love" by Donna Summer, even though that was a big hit, but
Yeah.
it was a hit despite the fact that it was electronic, not because of
Right.
or I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass a little bit.
We're guessing
I'm
about
guessing
things
a
that
little
happened
bit.
a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but I would say Daft Punk is kind of when electronic music had some kind of claim to mainstream,
Absolutely.
like with One More Time and like Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger.
Around the world.
I would say that was the closest that it got, unless you consider like disco electronic.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, because
Yeah.
the invention of the
And Daft Punk was basically disco rebranded anyway. So
and even I like how they tell that story on Random Access Memories, and I love the Ram Double Entendre, I think that was their last album or whatever. But
that's speaking of that. That's the guy that did "I Feel Love"
yeah.
by Donna Summer. The song "Giorgio" by Moroder. Yeah, that's the guy that did the song that I was just talking about.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I love spoken word in songs. I love where he tells the story. I think it's amazing. One of our first songs had dialogue in the very beginning.
Yeah.
It's like
That was one of the things we were talking about earlier. I was just like, I didn't see it. I didn't understand it. I was like,
But I love that kind of
love
stuff.
it. No,
yeah,
It's
cool.
great. And the story it tells, and I feel like them even breaking up, they kind of made their tunes better. Like it's like now that I know it's finished, it's like it has an end cap on it now, and it's like so one day they come back or something, It's like
Yeah, it's like when.
you kind of look like the one guy, don't you? Dude, did you ever see him without the mask?
Who are we talking about?
Daft Punk.
Oh.
You kind of look like the one guy.
Do I?
They're both French, right?
They're pretty handsome, aren't they? I feel like you're giving me.
I don't know
judgment
if you had
here.
a mask. I haven't seen them lately. I saw like one picture of them ever. It would be so funny if you look exactly like them. Don't worry, Jamie will add the picture at the end.
The last music lookalike I got was some kid at my one factory job that I had. He told me I looked like a young Iggy Pop, and I was like, oh man, don't tell me that. But then I looked up a picture of him. I was like, he used to be pretty handsome
he's got one
actually.
side.
Yeah, no, I mean obviously not anymore, but
Our names are pretty similar.
yeah,
Very
they are.
similar.
They are very similar.
Weirdly similar.
Yeah. Is yours Russian?
Nah, Puerto Rican.
Really?
Montalvo, yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
You couldn't
I
tell by
thought-
his haircut?
I thought it was just Montav. I thought it ended with the Av.
Nah,
I
that
thought it was
the
Montalvo
Instagram
for
that-
about 20 years.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was
Yeah,
an L, a sneaky
Montalvo,
L back
yeah.
in there
Yeah.
at the end.
Oh, there's an L. There's two.
Montalvo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Montal.
There's two letters.
I
in
just thought it was
Montalvo.
Montalvo forever because that's what everybody said. Because
was-
the section where we grew up in Jersey, I don't know if they do it here, but everybody calls it by their last name.
Okay.
It's like he's Montalvo. Like people
Yeah.
that like kind of know you, but don't really know. They don't know your nickname or whatever. They just Montalvo.
Because there's
'Cause
34
you're the-
Matts. And,
Yeah, you're Montalvo, like that.
Yeah.
But put your whole government out there. And what was your social again? Address is
Yeah,
good.
What's your garage code? Okay, let's see. What do we got here? Oh, okay, cool. Kind of what we were already talking about. What music have you shown your kids, or plan to maybe when they get a little older,
As far as like our music or
Like-
like any.
or
music?
just anything like once they turn 16, I'm gonna show them Stairway to Heaven.
They hear all our stuff that's clean, and we only have
Yeah.
like one song that says "Porno Mag" in it. Is our probably worst lyric.
I don't
And
censor nothing.
That's something, and I also don't censor my kids' speech.
Yeah.
My
I
kids
don't
are allowed
either,
to curse and say whatever they want. It's about context. You're
Yeah.
not allowed to curse to your teachers. You're not allowed to call your teacher a bitch.
Yeah.
But if you want to say shit and piss around the house, let it fly.
It's language.
Let it rip.
It's emotional.
You know what I mean?
That's how you get your point across sometimes, right?
I'm not the
I
word
can sound
police,
mad
you
at
know?
you, but if I sound fucking mad at you, that's different, right? That's different. I don't know. I
That
don't
must
censor
be
that.
so funny to hear that come out of a high pitched voice like
I
that.
haven't heard the fuck yet
With
from my
that,
kids.
with that said, I thought about like I want to show them great music, but I want to be listening to something good too. So I got to show something timeless. So I took a couple of cues from people that had other kids before me. Hendrix, All Along the Watchtower is a great tune to put on with you're playing with kids and stuff. Queen, I Want to Break Free.
Oh, Queen!
Was one that I showed my
would be
kids
great
earlier
as
just
well.
because of the amazing vocal range and the singing and the whole production value of everything. Queen, all types of Queen, but especially I Want to Break Free is a great song.
We Will Rock You too because it's that.
Yeah,
so
I'm
my
sure.
son does that now
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
car with it, and it's fun. We can do it together.
A lot of movie
And he's
soundtrack stuff gets pressed upon you.
Trolls.
That they
Yeah.
like, you know, the
Dude,
Frozen
All the
tunes.
Disney movies are great.
A
tunes,
girl,
man.
a little girl last night told me to play a song from Wicked at their 5th grade dance.
Yeah.
You're like, "It's too
Telling me to play like
and you
show
realized
tunes.
how out of touch you were, and you're like,
Yeah,
I wasn't
really.
ready.
Seriously, I had Steve's lava chicken ready, and I thought that was
thought you were
gonna.
the man.
I thought that was gonna win me over, and it did. It
for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
For 30 seconds.
Yeah, but they need
I got
more.
one over
They
for
want
30
more.
seconds, and
That
then
was the shortest song
it's
to
like,
hit
all right,
Billboard #1 or something.
we need
too, right?
we need Hot to Go 12 more times after this.
Hot to Go, nice.
I just could not provide it for them.
Chapel Run. I'm young.
This one kid was. This one
I know
kid.
songs.
Do your kids like love any? I guess you would be showing it to them, but this one kid kept requesting "Never Gonna Give You Up," like
Oh, okay.
kept coming up like every 10 minutes. Like, when are you gonna play it?
See, that's got to be a dad influence, right? My daughter
guess.
is 7, so the world of she has my daughter has a record player, vinyl, and several Taylor Swift vinyls, and that's like her thing from like older teenagers.
That's cool.
around,
Yeah.
People are like influencing her, and
Mhm.
she's like has a little record collection now, and like she listens to all those songs, even though they're not all appropriate, and like some are a little messed up. She loves it. I get it.
Really, what's the most messed up Taylor Swift song?
I don't know, but there's just constant themes of romance and stuff that a 5, 6,
just like
7-year-old.
toxic.
Yeah, it's not.
Themes
Just like
sometimes,
talking
yeah.
about
Like, they don't need
I don't think
that
your
shit,
value
man.
should be based
Yeah.
on a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But there's also a part of like
But
there's
that's
songs
all the
about
Disney
kissing,
movies
falling
do,
in
though.
love, hooking
That's-
up, doing it, and the lyrics are like said in a way where it's like you shouldn't really be hearing this, but it's fine because lyrics or whatever. So she has the albums, everything, but that's been a huge influence on her.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
There's that type of a ton of mainstream stuff. They listen to the radio. Their friends tell them about songs now that are like coming up. This will come up real soon for you. Like, but
Who Let the Dogs Out is huge right now in my house.
who let the
My
dogs
son,
out?
it's
Nice.
Who Let the Dogs Out. Splish Splash is good.
Sonic. I got a lot of Sonic.
Sonic.
tunes.
Sonic, nice.
Spider-Man.
Nice.
The original
Hulk
Spider-Man
Smash.
songs.
Did you hear that Hulk Smash jam?
No.
I'll make you
No,
want to
yeah.
run through that wall right there. That are good. And you know what's funny too? I'm glad you brought it up because for a while I was like, and especially when we first started, I'll get better when I get that new guitar. I'll get better when I get that new program. I'll get
Yeah.
better.
Gas,
And I
they
said-
call it gear acquisition syndrome.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Nice.
I'm starting to watch him learn. I'm watching these shows with the kids break it down. I'm like, you know what? I sold everything. I sold all my guitars. I sold a Taylor for $100, not less than $100
What?
at a
Nah.
yard sale. dude.
Nah,
This
get
guy
outta
was so
here.
happy.
He has
But
no loyalty.
I'm
to
sure
his
he
guitar.
was.
In my
I'm sure
mind,
he
no,
was
the
The
happy.
guitar
I
we
was-
started the band with.
Yeah, I sold that everything. In my mind, I just had to clear it
I
away
mean,
though.
This is
Right?
my first ever guitar that I bought, and it's like kind of not really the best guitar, but
Looks
I
sweet.
gotta keep it, you know.
I had to get rid of it because I was not learning. I wasn't learning anything. So I started watching like the stuff that I was showing them, like kindergartners learn music,
Mm-hmm.
and it started making sense to me.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that brought me back down to earth. And then I said, you know what? Now I'll get something, But it was for a while. It was always, hey, get that new acquisition. That will make me better.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
and then you watch like that one dude in Yo Gabba Gabba make a like fire beat with some random keyboard. And you're just like, fuck, man, I just gotta get a fluffy orange hat. that's really what I gotta get. It's all about the riz. It's all about how you're feeling when you're playing, when you're doing whatever that guy does.
Gotta move to the groove.
Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah. All right. So did your kids have any reactions that weren't what you expected, or
As far as
when you showed them a song that maybe you were really into when you were a kid? And
with a kid, it's never what you're expecting.
Yeah.
Whatever you
Yeah.
build your mind up and thinking, oh, we're gonna do this today. It's always like, be prepared for that not to happen, because it's gonna still be fun and great, but it's not gonna go how your mind wants it to go. He got really into Juice WRLD for a while.
Really?
And
That's
I had
funny.
to start, and I was saying earlier, I don't censor much, but I did have to kind of censor that down a little bit. I just didn't want him going to school saying something that he has no, you know what I mean? But he
Kid
really
just starts
liked
getting depressed.
yeah, that too. But music-wise, he likes the old school stuff. I tried to show him like 30 Heads, like that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Revolution. But right now it's Baja Men.
Nice.
All day, you know. He watches a lot of movies too, like Godzilla,
Nice.
and he'll watch them in Japanese and stuff.
Oh, awesome.
He likes to watch them in Japanese.
Really?
So there's no surprise.
He likes that?
Dude. Yeah.
I remember my parents tried to put on a black and white movie for me one time, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to watch this.
He's so
So
young,
that's
so I don't
awesome.
think he knows the difference
Okay.
between time. Because he
Yeah.
watches the Godzilla Kong from 2024, and then he'll watch the 1953 Godzilla, where Godzilla's just swimming, or 54, whatever it is. Godzilla just swims all the time in the water. Every Godzilla movie. But yeah, he watches it, and I'll fill him in, but I also like to show him, like, you can figure out what's going on just by how these people are acting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's all part of it, you know. But as far as different reactions, like I said, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. I learned a lot about that last night. Seeing all kinds of like, I witnessed a lot of like emotions that I didn't understand.
Right.
That were over in 5 seconds, and then they were, you know, reacting to something else, and it made me realize, like, you know,
How a brain functions.
just well that, but also among many other things, it made me realize that I just don't understand kids. Like, I've just been away from like how kids act, and just in that like school environment where it's just like,
yeah.
you're a kid and there's hella other kids, and they're just all feeling
It's
that
survival
same
mode.
energetic way that you're feeling, and you're just trying to like show your individuality in any way, or
so
like
many emotions.
you're
You
just-
miss
you're
your
just trying
parents,
to-
You just want to go home.
yeah,
you're
or
just
stuff like
you have
that
no
too.
idea.
Yeah.
And like just trying to be like head of the pack in some way. And
Competitive.
yeah, I saw a lot of like competition and stuff like that last night. A lot of like doing things to try and fit in, and just like I said, just like so many emotions and everything that I just haven't seen in so long, because I've had no need to be around like that many kids
It's
for
fun.
that long.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's a crazy
Reminds
age.
you about your past.
Matt was always, did any dance battles break out? Because Matt was always the guy doing
No.
the worm and practicing his breakdancing moves at the dance while people were like
Yeah.
circled up. That was him. And now he's the lead
Dances-
singer in a
Yo, I
band.
told you not to
Dances
talk about that.
nowadays-
That's the one thing I said not to say.
I wish I had a video.
Dude,
That was the one thing.
dances
Yeah.
nowadays are different. Have you guys ever taken your kids to any school dances or anything? Have
Not
you?
yet.
Have
Not
they
yet,
had?
they're
No,
coming
they
up.
haven't.
I got like, they don't start
Yeah.
yet for
They're
kids
yet.
at 7. But I think when she's like 9 or 10, it's gonna be like the first one.
We're
And it's already out of control. And things
Yeah.
are advancing too
Yeah,
quickly out
dude.
of like just having the eye for an attractive man or something like that. Just stuff is already out of control, and I can't, you know. Of course, I'm not ready to go with it. One time, somebody at work said something that was profoundly sad to me. He said, you know, we were just talking about kids. He said, you know, one time you're gonna do that thing that they used to think was awesome. I used to make them laugh, and they're just not gonna think it's cool anymore. They're gonna hate it. And he's like, also, one time you're gonna pick them up for the last time ever.
Oh,
and
get out of
You're
here
gonna put
with
them down.
that.
It'll be last
Dude,
time. I'm like, dude,
so
there's like. You can have like nice thoughts too,
Trying to
man.
ruin
Like,
my day over here.
Any other cool stuff you want to talk about?
So I just gotta say, yeah, I wasn't ready for it last night either. But once your kids start going to dances and stuff,
Yeah.
maybe they'll be different from the one that I DJ'd last night.
Yeah.
But get ready for.
Well, you controlled the
chaos.
emotions, dude. You were the DJ.
You'd think that.
You
You'd
put on
think
like some
that.
calming.
Dude.
yeah.
Nah, if it wasn't,
Some rain, pitter patter.
I was.
Because you have to constantly
This
build,
machine.
right? You had to
So-
build the set until like what? The
That's
place
what I thought.
exploded.
That's what I thought.
That one dude does.
That's what I thought. I was saying it last night. This is what I've been saying since I played it last night. These kids come in, they have like 3-4 songs that they want to hear, and if you're not playing those songs, you might as well not be playing music because they're not even they weren't in the gym straight up, like they would be gone. Like I don't know.
This is the whole thing of a DJ, right?
I don't know
To
where
get
they were.
people on the dance floor.
No, it was like I'd be playing like
It's such a hard job.
like the
man.
Cupid Shuffle and stuff too,
Okay.
like stuff that
That's a little old now,
kids, I guess, but like
You hit him with the electric
But
slide.
not because, like, some of this old
but
musical
some of the
past,
stuff, some
like-
of the old stuff they knew, and
Yeah.
and like I said, the one kid kept requesting "Never Gonna Give You Up," and like there were a few older songs that they wanted to hear. That I was like Eminem. They wanted to hear "Lose Yourself" by Eminem. I was like, how do you even know
That
that
transcends
song?
though.
Yo, a bunch of 7-year-olds going like this.
But see, wouldn't
that's
you
not
think?
what you want at
Wouldn't
your
you think
show.
like the Cupid Shuffle or like certain songs would transcend the same way? But no,
little bit, yeah.
it's just like specific songs that they want to hear, and if it's not that, then
Yeah, well,
they're gone.
Lose Yourself is still
Specific
getting put into
songs,
like movies and
food.
you know what I mean, multimedia. Like that's still like culturally relevant. I'd say. But shit, I can't think of a harder thing than DJ for kids. It's like because you're
Yeah.
not a kid, you know what I mean. They need to get a kid DJ.
And
to do
and
that,
like
you know.
well, even like if I had a kid, maybe that was like
Yeah.
around the age of them.
Yeah, but they're not.
then that would
none
work.
of them are the same, dude.
Yeah,
They're
that's
all
true.
so
Like
different,
like
man.
like how I said that the one girl wanted me to play the song from Wicked, like she'd be the only one dancing to that. And
Right.
that's how most of these songs were, was just like this is like this kid watched a YouTube video that had this song in it one time, and now that's all they want to hear.
It imprinted on their brain.
And so you know, I would be playing these songs, and like Hot to Go, you know, that was kind of a broader one.
Yeah.
But most of them wanted to hear just like this one specific song that none of the other kids knew.
It's a tough age group too. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're just getting to be like, that stuff sucks now, and like this stuff is cool.
Yeah.
The other thing I thought downstairs, if I lived here, I would have a couple songs about trains going by.
Yeah,
Because
I gotta
I still
do
have
a
that
train
one recording
song.
when you were talking about finding something, and then the train goes by. Remember we were here when we went.
Yeah,
to
what
that,
was I was trying to
I have
trying
no
to remember
idea
what I
you're
said.
talking about.
You were saying how you find something
You
is
were
like the best
finding
feeling
something.
ever, because it's only lost for so long until you eventually find it, and then I forget. We were
And the
talking about a
train
lot of
goes by.
stuff. We were in an altered state.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember it was a very like stoner rambling type
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah. Nah, it's perfect though. I'll send it to
Yeah,
you. You should use it for something.
Yeah, I gotta get a train song going though. I do like some train type music. Like
Like the band train.
Like Drops of Jupiter.
I actually train
Got 'em.
and the vocalist that I used to work with. Every time I hear of the band Train, I think of her because she had a passion of hatred for that band.
Yeah.
For some reason,
It's a weird thing.
like I would bring up like Nickelback and like, you know, all the typical like Creed and stuff like
Yeah.
that. She would be like whatever, but Train for some reason really
What was it?
set
Did they
her
have
off.
more than? What was their other song?
That-
Remember Moves Like Jagger? They had like
That
a
was
bit of
them?
a
That was
resurgence.
them.
Or was it
That
them?
was,
I don't know.
No, it was
Maroon
like
5, dude, wasn't it?
no, yeah, that was Maroon 5, but I think they like
I remember they had two big ones. I
They
think.
had a
It was
song,
Drops of
Jamie.
Jupiter.
no, it was
There was
because
another
they
one.
what's the song? Because I know that I remember it because of the lines that would piss her off, and it's the one song that says "I'm so gangster, I'm so thug." What's that song?
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I got my laptop here, so I'll be Jamie real quick.
It's like when too many people love something, it gets a certain amount of haters.
I mean, that song, that was pretty cringe
If
from day
anybody's still
one.
watching and wants to tell us who it is, let us know.
Yeah, do you have the Instagram chat up?
It was
Good time to
around the
shout out
same.
Baby Mom.
It was around the same time as Moves Like Jagger. That's why I got them
Okay.
mixed up.
Something like that.
Yeah, like, dude, pop music shit is the
Yeah, it
shit
was Hey
that I
Soul
put on.
Sister. Yeah,
Hey,
that one.
That's
Yeah.
Pop music is what I put on for my kids all the time because it's like it's just like a constant stream of shit. Like oh, kind of remember that song? It was kind of good, and it's obviously safe for kids because it's on the radio.
Yeah,
Any
that's the
90s
type of shit that I was playing last night. Like I was playing like Taylor Swift, Shake It Off.
Bare
and,
Naked Ladies is
You
good.
hit him with some Bruno Mars, some
yeah, I think I had
Weeknd.
some Bruno Mars. I had one song
It's
I felt so good.
You looked at me. That one's good.
I felt so smart for remembering Shut Up and Dance. Remember that song?
Yeah.
I was like, kids love that song. I played it. They didn't give a fuck that I played that song. I was
Dude,
like,
it's a hard job, man. I'm like not jealous. That's crazy. That's a really hard job.
I mean,
Did you give them any
luckily,
bucket hats? Did you give
luckily
out
the
bucket
job is not all
Not that
kids
old,
stuff. It's like I just kind of started doing this, so
Is it
I
like
think
through a booking agent?
yeah,
Or,
yeah.
Okay, nice.
That was the first one that I did for
Oh,
them.
cool.
So I think they kind of threw me the one that no one else
They're
wants.
like, yeah, I got
first.
a guy.
Yeah.
They're like, I got the perfect guy.
Like, yeah, it's like a baby
Yeah.
parade. You gotta play tunes for. I'm sure there's hell gigs.
Yeah, I think the age got like younger and younger each time you mentioned it. At first it was like, oh, it's gonna be a middle school dance.
They're like, you
and
said
then-
it's at a high school. It's at a high school. Not high school kids. It's at a high school.
Oh, I said they might as well be college educated. I didn't. Oh, you thought that meant they were college educated. No, it's like 10-year-olds here. Nah, but yeah, it was definitely a learning experience.
Well, you'll know for next time
But-
now.
But it made me think like if I had a kid and you know they were nearing that age, I just kept thinking like, how would I control them
You can't.
when all these other kids they're just one
you gotta let them
child
have
in a
fun.
stampede
Yeah.
of just, but like some of the stuff like it was a little. It was stuff that I wouldn't want to see my kid doing. That's
It's not like
all I'm
you
gonna
control
say.
them. It's kind of like you try to guide them or try to navigate them.
Yeah, it's like because
So
it's
what's
either you're
cool?
either gonna let them see the internet or you're not.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like just kind of like rude stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I remember
Moral
I
foundation.
That's
saw-
parents, though.
I
That's
saw
the
this
parents
kid.
at that
He was
point.
like there was this lady trying to clean up towards the end. It was like glow in the dark confetti or like these little strings or streamers or whatever.
Okay.
That was like glow in the dark, and this lady was trying to clean it up. I don't know if this was her son or what, but this kid came over, balled it up, and just threw it at her face. It hits her right in the face, and she's just like
That
looking
shit ain't
looking
funny.
like that's the fifth time she fantasized about killing herself that day.
Yeah, they're
I
tough.
hope
But-
he was really tight with
but
that
yeah.
lunch lady or something.
I don't know. I don't know what it was, but yeah, some of the stuff I saw, I was like,
Yeah,
man,
but at the same time,
that was my kid.
I'm not letting. That's the other thing. You can't let him do that to you. Come on.
Yeah.
You see, he's 7.
Yeah.
I'm faster. I'm quicker. I might not be taller, but I know what's going on. I've been alive longer. I know he wants to throw that at me. You know what I mean? Don't fall into that trap either, though.
What if
ladies.
that
Come
wasn't
on.
your kid though? What
You
if that
should
was
know.
like some other
I
kid?
still am on the lookout for the other kids.
No, I'm saying, what if the other kid was throwing shit at your face, and now you gotta like,
Matt would be squaring up.
yeah,
It would be a
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
He wouldn't have got to throw the thing because he would have been fight before that. If somebody looks at Matt too long, he says out loud, "You got some kind of problem or something?" That's Matt.
I've been 5 foot for a long time.
You ain't have to
I
laugh
mean, I'm-
all like that.
I'm 6 foot, and I do the same thing. Sometimes, you know, when I'm
I just don't
feeling
get
it, at
What are you
least.
looking at?
My whole entire life, I had to ask a person one time what they were looking at. One time ever. And dude, he was so trashed. I didn't know what he was looking at.
He was like, oh no, brother.
He was like, oh my bad, brother. I'm not people. I was just looking for somewhere to look or something. Like, I was like, okay.
He's the double
Oh, you know that
contrast.
classic 1,000-yard stare. We all get it sometimes.
If Matt passes a car on the highway, he'll be like, what are you looking
Follow
at? What do you mean by that?
You think that guy was worth following?
Hey, right, man. That's not true.
Yeah. This is
Not
Matt
anymore.
McCabe.
Not my old age. Maybe when I was
That's
younger.
The old Matt, yeah.
Old Matt, yeah. Matt now.
Absolutely.
Let me see if I got anything. We're at I think we're at like 2 hours, 15 minutes here.
Oh, nice. What did your other one go?
Oh, you want to beat it?
No, just for frame of reference. Is there a time?
I don't know. I think that was like 2.5, something
It was
maybe.
long. It was like
somewhere like that.
3 drives to work for me to finish it. A couple lunch breaks. It was good.
I appreciate the dedication to random bullshitting.
You uploaded it to YouTube, right? The full thing.
Yeah.
Did you clip any of it into shorts?
Yeah, that was surprisingly tough, honestly.
Right.
Like I did successfully clip a few things, but and there's one, the one that I'm most proud of is the one of Jake talking about Moonstruck. Have you guys seen that one? He's
No.
talking about like Nicolas Cage, because he loves Nicolas Cage. So
Nick Cage,
I was asking him about him, and he did
He's an
a little
interesting cat.
impression for me. He's talking about I guess
impression.
Nicolas Cage like has a wooden hand in this movie, and
he
he's
did the monologue.
yeah,
right?
He's like, I lost my hand. It was great. It was great. And
He had
I
the
didn't.
guitar the whole time. He was
Yeah,
tapping on
I
it.
didn't want to actually watch the scene in the movie for so long, because I was like, it'll never live up to the recreation that Jake did for me. But I watched it just a couple weeks ago. I was like, all right, that was pretty good. That's classic Nicolas Cage. So how is it gonna be not crazy? It was good.
Yeah,
I plan on watching the whole movie at some point. But yeah, that was the most successful like reel that I made of it.
That's a good part, too.
Turns out that video editing is really difficult when you have no idea what the fuck you're doing.
It's tough. Having great subject material really helps a lot.
Yeah, it does. It does,
It makes the
definitely.
path clear.
Like I probably would have given up halfway through if I wasn't just cracking up every time I watched the clip.
Yeah.
The best part about watching it was that I could look at Jake like this and not like this. 'Cause every other time I see him I'm like this, and he's like handing me a microphone and a guitar. I'm like, thanks. I feel so little. He's like talking to me
Thanks,
on it.
dude.
Yeah. He's
You like past the top of your head.
Yeah.
With his
Touched me
foot.
and shit. Yeah. I'm like, but no, it was neat. He's an interesting dude. It was cool to have him.
He has a
it was
great
cool.
setup at the open mic.
Yeah, makes
Amazing.
you feel
Everything super
easy,
easy.
comfortable.
Everybody's so friendly. The
Yeah.
bars,
Whole
nice.
spot,
It's
yeah.
cool. Everything's great set up over there. I love that.
It was fun.
I've never seen another open mic kind of like that, where it's like so smooth.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool spot.
That's where we first met you.
Yeah. Have you guys been there since then?
We did 4 shows, right?
3 or 4.
About 3 or 4, yeah. We did
Yeah.
4 shows to debut some songs and to get a taste of audience reaction, kind of,
Yeah.
and to try out the live thing because we, drum set compared to Cajon and different versions of the
Yeah.
song. We created a live version of every song instead of
Yeah.
the acoustic version, so it made us do that. And so since then we haven't been back, but I would love to go again. Have you been back since the last we saw you there?
Yeah, I try to go like as often as I can.
Okay.
And sometimes there's a schedule conflict. Sometimes like I'm just so beat from whatever I did that day that
Yeah.
I'm just like I gotta sleep. But if there's not something like that, then I try to make it out. And I try to have something prepared too, because that's kind of tough too. Is like, I know that if I play the same thing that I played last month, people aren't really gonna notice probably. But I just don't want to be playing the same thing
I
all
agree.
the time.
Yeah.
So it's hard to think of new stuff to play too.
Yeah. I even feel like that is a little my opinion, but I even feel like that with covers. Like if it's not transformative, or you're not doing an acoustic version of an electric song or something, you're not changing it or doing the lyrics a little different. It's like, what are you doing? I mean, somebody already did the song exactly how it's supposed to be. I also understand being in a bar, being drunk, hearing your favorite song come on by somebody, and being absolutely for it and loving it. That's fun. Having fun is awesome.
I like the timing too. Like that one dude did, like on Friday the 13th, he did like a Friday the 13th song.
Yeah.
Cover. That's new too.
Yeah.
Like he had the attire on.
Yeah, that's cool.
Tie it all in. That's cool.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially when they're transformative. Some of my favorite songs in the world are covers.
You got some talent coming through there too. So everybody's usually pretty damn good. Like I don't walk away going like, that dude sucked. Like it's either always like, man, he's like right there, or like, whoo, I want to aspire to be that good one day.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that when Jake was on the podcast. Like no one really truly sucks there.
No.
Yeah. I'm never looking at like my watch or anything. I'm like, oh, this is just a different song, you know. Everything's good. Do you do any other open mics or? I mean, gigs and
open
stuff.
mics. I tried to have it at least be like, I try to have them at least like, you know, pretend that they're gonna pay me or something, or like one of the ones I did like a house show, not too long ago, and like if it's a house show.
Spot in Philly?
Yeah,
that place looked dope. It was like
it was cool, and like you know, if it's a house show, sometimes I'll ask if like, you know, just like let me know if there's gonna be like pay tonight or and there was one there's one not too far from here in Haddon Heights where they threw me like, I don't know, like $40 after, because it was like a certain percentage they just divide it up and give it to all the artists.
Okay.
And I asked beforehand, and then they told me that, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But the one that I did in Philly, it was like all proceeds go to like some charity.
Oh, nice.
And I was, you know, that's cool. I'm fine with that.
Oh, yeah.
Versus the $40 or whatever isn't even really, you know, that's not to like feed me or like like anyone. That's just kind of out of principle, really.
But everything helps. You
but
know, it's like,
and it also that too. It you know, it just feels good to get paid any amount, really.
At least gas plus covered.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
that
like
too.
More of an incentive to keep going.
Yeah, so that's always cool, and especially like, I mean, that doesn't make me feel good about it, but it's nice to know that it comes from this kind of place. Like I remember them telling me, from the place that I did get paid, they said we usually don't really make money off of these. Like we don't really aim to make money off of this kind of thing. It's just to have people come through here and play. Just, I don't know, I just really appreciate a community thing like that. And it makes me feel like I kind of have to do the same thing. Or not that I have to, but just that I would feel better about myself if I did something like that every once in a while. Just like just a purely community thing. Not trying to like get something in return. You know, that's what music is supposed to be about anyway.
How would you describe the South Jersey music scene?
Oh, we were talking about this on the last podcast too.
Okay.
I feel like you guys might have some more insight on this than I do. Because I know
open mics and dive bar cover bands is how I would describe it.
Because
if you're looking for somebody to come to town, you're going to Atlantic City or Philly.
I don't know,
but like small venue gigs, I'm not familiar with.
Vineland had that
what
place,
about
Hangar 84, Hangar 51.
Yeah, I don't know, like smaller venues.
What about like New Brunswick and stuff? Because New Brunswick always has the like.
That's like right at the limit though of South Jersey.
You guys were talking about.
Because I feel like it's a different scene.
Playing a basement.
Yeah.
And that, I was like, oh my god, I could just hear like farts like sounding coming from the speakers. Like I just don't think it would sound right.
I mean, I don't know. Like I think the verdict there with Bon Jovi
still good, right?
was that a good song is a good song. You know, it doesn't really matter where you play it or what you play it through. It's, you know, certain songs do kind of rely on maybe like a hook or a melody or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, a good song, especially like a catchy chorus, like no one's ever gonna hate a good, like, nice chorus.
Yeah.
Especially like a bar full of people, they're never gonna dislike a solid chorus that they can sing along to.
I was just thinking, like, remember the temple parties we used to go to?
Yeah.
And the shows they would play there, and the sound quality was just terrible. And like a band like that, I would love to hear loud. And
We were usually rooms away from the band, you know.
People would be breaking walls down. It would be a break shit party, they would call them. It was like when the kids were leaving their dorms.
Yeah, I
for
would
the
I would
year.
say the most popular thing right now is probably just like hardcore, just like screaming and just like destruction music, and like you guys know what crowd killing is, when people run into a crowd literally just like swinging their fists and I don't know.
Like a mosh pit?
It's like a mosh pit, but with more destruction and like I think some of them even extend it to like just straight up punching someone in the face.
You remember
I
the wall
don't.
of
I've
death?
seen those
It's
guys.
not.
Remember where they line up the two? They would break
the
Yeah,
up.
the wall of death. Like
And then
that's
they'd
cool.
run into each
I'm
other.
into stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I'm talking about this from the perspective of someone who's not really super into it.
Yeah.
But I also respect the culture and everything. Like if I was 19 instead of 29, I would be all about that shit.
I would never want my kids
Well,
doing
'cause-
something like that, but
yeah.
if it helps this next man, like if that's what he needs, if that's his church or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Go
That's
ahead,
exactly how I
do
feel
what
about
you gotta
it.
do, man.
This is
Yeah.
going back a little while, but like there's always the guy. There's whenever hard music's on, there's, you know, this is after slam dancing. This is like when mosh pit was like a big thing. There's always the guy that goes into it that is trying to hurt other people, and then there's the other guy that is doing reckless dancing.
Yeah.
Or, you know, there's the guy skanking, there's the guy doing the funny moves, making people laugh, but then there's the guy that's watching people, that's mad. He's already mad. He's standing there, he's watching people.
He's
He's
like, I gotta teach him a lesson.
He's just waiting for somebody to bump into him, and then he's gonna go with punches. He's going in with punches. Somebody's gonna have to break it up, and
He's
people are gonna be like,
aiming
"They were
to-
just
he's
moshing,
aiming the
dude. It's
punches.
just a
He's
mosh
aiming,
pit."
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you
They're
ever?
malicious, they're
But different
intense.
bands have different crazy thought. Like they keep escalating it, right?
Here's a question for you guys. Have you ever been at a show and like started, like, you gotta catch yourself a little bit because you start feeling like you're that guy a little bit, maybe? Like someone bumps into you. No, that's good. That's great.
Me? No. He's
No,
lying.
I'm not.
to you.
I'm not saying.
This dude comes out of the pit with no clothes. I fought this dude.
Nah.
He looked at me.
I'm not saying like trying to fight people, but I'm saying like.
We were at Modest Yahoo.
Okay, all right.
It was Landis.
I'll back off. Let's go.
Peace
Let's
concert,
do
dude.
this.
Might as well have been a Peace and Love concert.
Yeah.
311 and
It was
Modest Yahoo.
righteous.
It
It
was.
was righteous.
At,
It was
at
good.
Hard Rock Cafe or
I don't know
something.
what happened, man.
It's a Modest Yahoo card.
Modest Yahoo was
There's
lit.
no hard part.
Yeah, but this was after he shaved his head and shit. This
People
was
get
like,
excited. People get excited. You know,
This is the
it's not like a
third
hardcore
album.
breakdown. People just get
No, but
excited
they
at the best
broke
part.
it down.
The
dude.
finale of the show.
They broke it down though.
Did he play
It was a
King
live
Without a
show.
Crown?
Yeah, like 5 times.
He played all the hits, all the things. The last song, this
I don't know what
guy
happened, man. No, it wasn't me. It was not me.
picks a fight.
No, I didn't.
Let's hear both
No, I
sides
didn't.
here.
What
Let's hear
did
both
you mean by
sides.
that?
No, no.
Full windmill goes in there.
That's not
Scratches down his back, no shirt. Yo, you gotta go buy me a shirt.
Yeah, he
They
had to
won't
get
let
me
me
a
into
shirt.
the
I was on the
casino anymore
boardwalk.
because
Alright,
I don't
so this-
have clothes.
This is how the other guy tells the story. How
This
does
is how it happened.
how do you tell the story?
Just
somebody
lie.
was picking on my friend, and I tried to help, and I got punched a couple times. My shirt ripped off. I got the one dude, got the third, fourth, and fifth dude.
And their lives. Somebody probably looked at
They had
the
to
girl
stop
he
me.
fell in love with 30 seconds ago. And he was like, "Oh, nice to meet the dead man."
What did Matisyahu have to say about all this?
He was busy getting off
Did he
stage.
call it
dude.
out?
He was still fighting. The songs were over. The lights were on. And people were clearing out. Matt's still fighting.
I remember talking to him because I was like, yo, he was playing like roulette or something. And I was convinced the casino was like cheating him. I was telling him, I was like trying to pull him away. And I looked down, I had like this shirt that was like, said like AC Casino.
Hard Rock Cafe. Yeah, like, he clearly bought
it
their
almost had
tags
like a
on
tap out shirt though. It was so crazy.
It was the cheapest shirt they had. Like, there's no cheap shirts at
My
gift
last
shops.
shirt
Like, I
got
had to
ripped
get the
off.
cheapest
Yo, I couldn't go back in.
My
until
other
he went to the
shirt
gift
is-
shop. It came back out with a
My
bag
other
and
shirt
gave
is
it
in
to
the
me.
trash right now.
Because the exit from
Hard
that
Rock was the
venue
boardwalk.
was into a casino. So they're like, you can't leave the venue into this casino with no shirt on.
AC's wild. Remember the dudes that chased us and they were following us?
Yeah.
They kicked us out of the place, and then it was these security guards, and they were walking behind us, and the whole time they're telling us, "Yo, make a right here,
We went
make
for
a right
an
here, because I'm gonna kick your ass like we used to."
We
in the
went
old
for
school
a-
days.
for an MMA event, right? And we were, drinking, doing this, but
What
this
was
was a
it?
different
What-
time maybe.
I had to check in my coat.
This was a different time. This was
Same
a different.
thing.
This was a nightclub or something. So we're there. We would do this thing. It's funny to do in front of security guards sometimes. We were at an MMA. So we're
Security
fighting.
guards have a great sense of humor.
We would start to fight. We would start to fight.
Oh, I'm sure they love
You know,
that.
like we're wrestling. We got each other in headlocks, and as soon as this security guard comes over, we just stop and we look at him and we go, and we laugh. You know, we
And
had
then
done
they
it
would
like
laugh
5
too,
times
right?
before,
Yeah,
and
He wanted to
we
put
got
his
away with it.
Cuffs on.
These guys were like,
his
these
plastic cups.
They're like, you're fucking kicked out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You gotta leave right now. We're like, we've never been kicked out of a casino really before, so we're like, nah, kind of fuck you, whatever. These
Oh
dudes,
no, it's not like
these
that.
dudes are popping out badges. They're like, nah, I'm this guy, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm bad like this. I'm gonna mess your ass up. I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
And they're just watching it,
Yeah,
and
it's
we're
like
just
that
like,
in the casinos.
we're like doing dumb shit, still playing games or whatever, and
They
they're just
followed us
waiting.
all
They're
the
just
way.
waiting, and we're like, okay, what are these guys waiting for or whatever? That's weird. You know, like they only have a job to do or something else to do. They keep waiting.
This
wait.
is their job. This
Go
is what
here.
they look
Go,
forward
go
to.
this way. Go down. Make a left here. Go onto the boardwalk. Go and then we'll walk you to your car or whatever.
Yeah.
We're like, nah. We're like, nah. You can't tell me what to do. I'll do what I want. I'll go wherever I want. You know, so that's fine. I'll decide when I'm done gambling. And eventually, we just hit like a corner eventually thing, and we just get the fuck out of there. So we just bounced on them, got like 100 feet away. They were like dressed in suits. They're not chasing us.
Yeah.
We're like, we're out of here. We're doing what we want to. But AC was a really good. That was a fun time.
That's funny. I remember my friend, like right when we all turned 21, he was like immediately at the casinos, and I remember something happened. I think cause my other friend is like a Cowboys fan, and I think he.
Nice. He seems cool
I
and
don't.
smart.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think he was. I think he was cool and smart enough to not like wear the actual jersey and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I think he like when
Too
he
stupid
gets
to quit.
when he gets drunk, he starts talking about or like if someone says something about the Eagles,
Yeah.
he'll start talking and being a little less cool and smart
Yeah.
about it. And
He's
I
like
think
preaching.
that started happening, and my friend said, I think he said like oh I don't know what happened between this and getting thrown in a room, and he said like they took everything from took his wallet, took his like they might have taken everything except like his car keys, I think, and he said I think he said something about like they might have injected him with something, and maybe
They hit him with the juice serum?
maybe that's why he doesn't remember a lot of it.
That's
But
crazy.
I remember him saying he was walking back to his car, which was parked in the like Bally's or whatever parking garage.
Yeah.
and he said someone tried to rob him after all that, and he got pissed at the robber, being like, "Yo, they already took everything. Like, what else can you take?"
It's a good idea. People are probably leaving there with a lot of cash, right? Sometimes.
Yeah,
That's
I
probably
guess
a good
so.
gig.
I guess so. Yeah, you probably make a good amount.
Robbing casinos.
It's way better than begging.
Because you can't even touch anything inside the casino. The parking lot though, fair game.
Yeah.
I just lost it all. I always say. I'm sorry, man. Can't help you.
Yeah, Atlantic City is wild.
I worked
Yeah.
a lot down there. I watched dudes like take their whole paycheck and gamble it away.
Oh yeah.
And I've watched dudes be very successful too.
Yeah.
At gambling it away.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I've definitely I've seen a lot of. It's almost like scary seeing the success, because you know it's just building them up to fall. Like that's how I feel about it, at least.
Most table games, yeah.
Especially like at a casino, like if you're like, you know, playing cards with your friends and you keep winning like that, like you're probably gonna be winning for a good while.
Oh yeah.
But at the casino, like, and especially if they know that you're good and you're like that good to win every time you come in there, they're gonna make it so you stop winning, or they're gonna get you out of there somehow.
Even sports gambling. I just started sports gambling this year. I've always went to Atlantic City and played table games, you know, just fun. But now sports gambling is legal in New Jersey. I started this year on basketball. I'm a big basketball fan.
Did it like just? I've always bet on MMA for a while now.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember
for years. There was different restrictions. You had to go to offshore website before.
I never would have done any of that.
And then banks didn't accept your deposit if you went from them. But since I started this year, even if you have a lot of success on sports gambling, you can still just get completely banned and denied of the, hey, you just can't play here anymore. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what kind of?
It's a private business. They reserve the right to ban anybody. So even if you're too good, it's like
makes
like
sense.
how card counting is legal. But if you're just winning too much, they can just say, hey, you're banned from.
Yeah.
We're not gonna keep losing money to you. You know what I mean? We're a business.
This is an at-will casino.
Yeah. So it's like, even if you are a really good sports gambler, you can't be too good, because then you get banned.
Yeah.
It's a crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So you gotta play that line.
Yeah.
Do you remember that dude on Jeopardy, James Holzhauer? He was a sports, like literally. So this guy was
Remember the Schwab?
No. He came really close to setting the record for most wins. He was about to beat.
Did you say?
No. I don't know where he was from.
I remember Ken Jennings. That was the guy, right?
He was about to beat Ken Jennings' record.
Was he from Jersey?
I don't know.
What, did they stump his ass
But
or something?
all right, so this is what I believe. In my opinion,
yes.
In my opinion, it was clear as day that he threw it.
Okay.
It was
really?
clear as
Think
day.
they paid him off?
No, I think he was just a respectful guy, and I think he understood that Ken Jennings wanted it more.
That's cool.
That Ken Jennings.
Well, he's the host now, right?
Yeah, I think.
That's cool.
And this dude James, he would never want to be the host, and I think he understood that it was more important to Ken Jennings.
Yeah.
And respected that, so I think he purposely threw it.
What was this on, like the Tournament of Champions or something? That's what they do.
No,
right?
He is on the Tournament of Champions, like every time they have it.
I haven't watched Jeopardy. You watched a lot of Jeopardy?
I'm just talking. I mean, not ever since I moved out of my parents' house.
Yeah.
And
it used to just come on after the news, right?
Yeah. That's why I watched it.
Exactly.
So I kept up with it while this was going on.
I love trivia and Jeopardy.
But yeah, this
I was
dude.
never good at Jeopardy.
This dude was just he went on a crazy run, and he was apparently a sports bettor, like as his job. That was just like how he made his living.
That's
was
awesome.
Sports betting.
He was just numbers.
He was clearly just like way smarter than like have you seen Idiocracy with
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, he was literally just fucking Luke Wilson in that movie. Just like the average person is here and then here's like, you know, like a smart person, and then he's like up here, like, you know, it just it's nothing for him, or at least that's how it seemed.
You got to check out Idiocracy. A guy goes in a time machine and goes to the future, but everybody keeps getting dumber and dumber and dumber because all the low intelligence people breed way more.
Yeah, the beginning of the movie spells it out great.
It like
one of the best beginning
scenes. So when the guy goes to the future, he comes out of the time machine and he's the smartest person in the world by far.
Even though he's like kind of not really even that smart of a guy.
He was like a janitor or something.
Yeah.
Like he was like just a regular guy.
He was in the army, I think.
And there's all kinds of problems. They replaced all the water with Gatorade.
Yeah.
And then all the plants are dying and they can't figure out why.
Yeah, and he comes over. He's like, don't you want to like give them water? And they're like, what do you mean, from the toilet? Yeah, great.
Dax Shepard
So great.
plays probably his best role of his whole career.
and he's Luke Wilson walks into his apartment and he's watching a show called Ow My Balls, where people just get kicked in the balls all the time.
Dude, that would be the best show on TV
yeah,
if it was
seriously,
out now.
Seriously. And you think like, oh, this guy's an idiot. He's just like a social outcast. Turns out he's Luke Wilson's lawyer for when he eventually like gets into legal trouble.
It's such a good. The president is.
I was just gonna say.
Terry Crews.
Yeah. And what's his name in the movie? Like President like T-Rex.
It's the craziest name.
Some crazy shit.
It's great though.
Crews is hilarious. Dude.
Yeah, he's great in that
He
movie.
seems like a good dude too.
Everyone does a great job. What's her name?
That was a Mike Judge movie, right? The guy that made.
That's why it's so good.
King of the Hill. That's Mike Judge.
I've been wanting to show my son King of the Hill. I think he's gonna crack up at Boomhauer.
It's coming back.
The way he talks and everything.
King of the Hill's about to come back.
Yeah, it is.
They did a time skip. It's in the future.
Dang it, Bobby.
It'll
Propane.
never.
No,
it's not gonna be.
That's where that molded me as a child. Where all my opinions
Beavis and
of
Butthead,
cooking and steak come from. No, Beavis and Butthead. That's a good music show.
Yeah, definitely.
Beavis and Butthead was awesome.
Well, because it was on MTV. That was when they were like making the transition to like
South Park
music videos, and then just going full blown. Like I remember when the Andy Milonakis show was on. I remember watching that and being like, what does this have to do with music? I remember like
run around New York, right?
Seriously asking my brother that question and him saying they don't really focus on that anymore.
And then all the music. Then there was no more music.
Yeah,
ever.
then it was I think
was that after TRL or before?
TRL I think was like the first
beginning of the end
non-explicitly music thing that they had on there, and then I think what is known colloquially as like the final nail in the coffin was Teen Mom, or like 16 and Pregnant was the original.
But then eventually even MTV2 just started showing reality shows, and it wasn't that wasn't just music. And it was like you got to go to MTV3 for that.
It kind of sucked always. They never played. Yeah, they just kept playing the same shit over and over again.
I remember my older cousin was like a teenage girl. There was a local TV station that you could call a phone number and pay a couple bucks, and they would put that music video on next.
That's cool.
It was like a crazy thing, but it was like in like early corn era. Like, because I remember that's the song she was like, "Oh, Jonathan,
play
this
that
is so
Wu-Tang
hot."
song again and again.
And you would call in, and they would play that. It was like calling into the radio. It was so crazy. I was like, "Why don't we have this at our thing?" They had like a stolen black box thing. I was like, "Dude, I didn't remember." I didn't have that channel.
You guys remember ringtone commercials where they would be like, it would be like text like,
oh yeah,
400 to this number if you want like Sean Paul, and I remember that's how I discovered Gorillaz, because I remember they were like text this number for this R&B song, text this number for like this Britney Spears song, text this number for like a rap song, and then it would be like text this number for Gorillaz. And then it showed like this animated music video. I was like, hold on, we're gonna act like that one isn't that we're gonna act like this has anything to do with all those other ones that are like normal songs, and then you're gonna show me this fucking like these weird like almost anime people, like going around and like destroying shit or whatever those
There
videos
was
are
nothing
about.
like that at the time, right?
Yeah,
And it-
not to me at least. I had never seen.
As a
anything
kid,
like
it was such a mystery too. I was like, to now, there was just one guy, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's like
Well,
crazy.
One guy did the
besides
music.
vocals,
One
right?
guy did the animations.
Okay. And the vocals were different people, right?
The vocals were the dude. Actually, it was the guy from Blur. You remember
Okay.
the band
I
Blur?
remember Blur, yeah.
Song 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that guy. That's the
See,
Gorillaz
crazy.
guy.
That's nuts.
We used to
Yeah.
play that on. It was like some kind of PlayStation
Rock
game
Band?
or something.
Yeah.
I think it was Rock Band before
Guitar
Rock
Hero?
Band. I can't remember,
Hero.
but that was the one jam.
I gotta take
Me and my
peeks.
buddy that
I'll be
lived
right back.
across the street, we'd be playing it all the time. Man. That's
I
it.
think
Are they
we're,
British? Jeffrey?
Yeah, they're British.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're at
Did we beat Jake?
2:45 right now. I think so.
Did we beat
Yeah, I
Jake
think
or
that,
no?
yes, we did.
Alright,
I
cool.
believe so.
We can cut it.
I think that's
We can
it.
cut it.
That's a good place to call it.
Big shout out to Baby Ma.